So Lucius Comets with the big catch there, and suddenly Logos, just like that, they are in Clearwater Valley territory for the first time tonight.
Yeah, so you can't ask for a better start if you're Logos here. 7.5 to play opening quarter. You get a stop on 4th down on defense. First play on offense, big home run ball.
Shotgun set once again for the Knights. An interesting offense here, unique in the White Pine, as they have a kind of a swinging gate offense here. You got skill position players all the way across the field. Clearwater Valley trying to match as Driscoll with the handoff, hands it off to number 52, Ben Carlson, who tries to get to the outside, but it's not going to happen.
That's what you got to love about 8-man football, because in the 11-man game, you don't see a lot of guys that wear number 52 in the backfield running the rock, but at 8-man, hey, anything goes.
Anything goes indeed, but not that play as we're looking at 2nd and 10. No gain on that one. And Clearwater Valley hoping to build off momentum there. Driscoll alone in the backfield, although he's got 2 linemen that are kind of in an up-back position here. 2 down linemen from Clearwater Valley. Then 1 and a 2. We got a motion here from the offensive line as Driscoll's just going to keep it himself, runs right up the middle, and a solid gain there, heading close to that 1st down marker, and he's brought down.
Yeah, this offense requires a lot of timing, a lot of reps, because as you said, the 2 guards started off the line. They then shifted to the line of scrimmage, which means 2 of the receivers got to shift off. And if one guy's a half a step late and doesn't find the right dance partner, then that's a penalty. So.
And just like that, it's 3rd and we'll call it 1. Ball is spotted at the 20. Red zone, first time appearance tonight for the Knights. Driscoll surveying the field. Takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself, runs right up the middle, and he got the 1st down and more before being brought down by a couple of Rams.
Nothing fancy there. That's going straight up the gut. You know, last week, Clearwater Valley in that 18-point loss to Notice, they were beat on the edges a lot. And they said, okay, no more of that tonight. I think Logos recognizes that and says, all right, we'll take our chances up the middle, see what we can get.
So they'll spot at the 16-yard line here. Excellent drive thus far for Logos. That's been mostly through the air, but the last couple of plays on the ground. Clearwater Valley hoping to make a stop here for the first time in the red zone. Driscoll. Rams throwing up a shrug, not sure what to do here as Driscoll throws it to the near side. That's caught by number 12. That is Ryan Daniels, and we've got a touchdown, the first one of the game. Logos draws first blood.
Hey, Clearwater Valley was out of sorts from the jump. You called it, Garrison. A lot of shrugs, a lot of looking around. And Jack Driscoll recognizing that, delivers a strike to Daniels, and then lets Daniels do his thing. And what a start to the game for Logos. 5:10 to play first quarter. A stop on defense. A touchdown on their opening drive on offense. And for Coach Nick Holloway, couldn't ask for a better start in the White Pine opener for each of these teams.
Beautiful night for football as well. Clear skies, about 70 degrees at kickoff. As Driscoll tries to get the 2-point conversion here, he's going to roll to his right. It's student body right. Throws it over the top. It's caught once again. And you guessed it, it's Ryan Daniels with the reception. He gets the touchdown and then 2-point conversion.
Hey, you got to feed the big dog. You got to keep him happy, right?
8-0 to start. Excellent start here for the Logos Knights. As Brandon just mentioned, gets the stop on defense and then a quick score. And with 5:10 left, it's 8-0 in favor of Logos.
Yeah, I guess we should probably reintroduce ourselves to our audience, Garrison.
That's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for those of you who are joining us here on IdahoSports.com in District 2. We're in Moscow, Idaho, as the Logos Knights are hosting the Clearwater Valley Rams. In the stands with me is my co-host, Brandon Bainey, and the cameraman, Simeon Rauch. Did I say that right?
Pretty much. It's German, so yeah.
Pretty much. We'll do it. We'll do it. Well, gentlemen, it's good to be with you tonight. Now, Brandon, normally you're up in North Idaho. You just moved to the Coeur d'Alene area in years past. You've been down in South Idaho. What's been the difference for you as you come up north and start broadcasting these games?
Well, I mean, an obvious one is the scenery.
Right.
Obviously, the backdrop here at Logos Field is just breathtaking. and pretty unique here in the state of Idaho. But up north, I've noticed, I like to joke the White Pine League. I call it the Big 12, where, a lot of times teams score in the 50s, the 60s, and as we saw last week, occasionally the 70s. Down in southeast Idaho, you don't see that as much.
So better defense is what we're hearing out of South Idaho. No, maybe better offense.
Superior offense up north.
There we go. So here's the kick from the Knights, and that one is squibbed out of bounds. But, hey, that's one thing you just mentioned in 8-man football is, honestly, sometimes it's better to just kick it out of bounds and avoid the big return.
Well, Logos obviously watched the film from last week, Garrison, Clearwater Valley, in their season opener against Notice. Tiago Pickering returned the opening kickoff of the game for a touchdown. And Notice did the same thing basically the rest of the way. They just kicked it out of bounds and said, we'd rather have you take the ball at the 35 or wherever it goes out than risk Tiago Pickering getting loose.
Now, you were at that Clearwater Valley game against Notice, Brandon, and the final score from that one was 72-54. So you're right, basically a basketball game there. What were some of your takeaways for this Clearwater Valley team?
Yeah, the big thing for Clearwater Valley was they just never got any stops on defense. And so when you can't get a stop on defense, it forces your offense to be almost perfect. And they came up empty on just a few drives. And so already behind the 8 ball again here tonight.
So Schleeper is going to line up under center. A bit of an I formation here as they're going to fake the pitch. Schleeper back to pass, looking, fires a post route over the middle. It's caught. Excellent connection there. That was number 1, Tiago Pickering, who picked that one out of the air. And we've got a flag here late after the play.
I wonder if that's some sort of an incidental face mask or something. Usually when a guy stood up like that, that's what the flag is. But boy, how about Schleeper threading the needle there? That was 2 defenders, and that was very tight coverage. And Tiago Pickering, nice grab, too.
Right in the middle of cover 2 there, and right down the middle. You're right there, Brandon. So a big play right off the bat, but unfortunately, we've got, it looks like we've got offsetting penalties here.
Yeah, I was going to say, so it was a face mask on the defensive side, and what we missed was offensive holding on one of those Rams O-linemen, and so the play washes out, and Logos says, we'll take that.
That's right, that's right. So it's going to reset here. Still going to be 1st and 10. Ball's going to be spotted near the 50-yard line due to the original kick being kicked out of bounds.
And so we talked about Schleeper hasn't played quarterback since his freshman year, but, if you go down to the QB factory and you say, I want a guy fresh off the line, this is it. He's 6'4", big, tall guy, throws a good deep ball. Getting his reps in. Folks,
you'll even see him maybe play some defensive end on the side. That's the kind of athlete we're looking at here. Again, I formation look. Got 3 linebackers over the top for Logos as Schleeper. Again, back to pass. Same post route. That one's almost intercepted. That was tipped by one of the linebackers in the second level of coverage.
Yeah, that was a great job there defensively by Ryan Daniels, the guy who scored the touchdown on offense. It's like he has a nose for the ball, Garrison. Read the play very well, tipped it, nearly picked it.
That's right, and you definitely want those kind of players here. And Logos, they've got a swarm of them. This Logos program, folks, is only in its 3rd year of existence at the 1A D1 level here in the White Pine, and it has come a long way, Brandon. We were talking about that before kickoff, to where now they're 1-0 to start the season, and they were picked 3rd in the media poll for the White Pine League.
Yeah, it's really fun to see the progression of this program.
So 2nd and 10, Schleeper back to pass, looking. He's got to step up to avoid the pressure, being pursued from behind, and he's got a good gain there before being brought down close to the 1st-yard sticks. That's making something out of nothing there.
Yeah, and that's what we saw on that 4th down play, too. It was 4th and 9, and Schleeper, I think, until he gets more comfortable at quarterback, his tendency is going to be to take off and run. If that first option isn't there, that time it works out pretty well, although 3rd and 1, can Clearwater Valley, a team that prides itself on running the rock and being physical with Bass Myers, can they get this yard that they need? They couldn't on the first drive.
And in years past, Logos' defense hasn't been able to bow up against some of these bigger run teams. Let's see if we've seen some progression there as we look like we're getting set for a rugby scrum. 3rd and 1. Schleeper under center. They hand it off, and Logos dominates the line of scrimmage there, and they're in the backfield before they can even get the play going.
Jonathan Morrill, like a torpedo, crashing through the line. Yeah, you mentioned it. Logos had all 8 guys in the box. No disguises about what Clearwater Valley was trying to do there, and lost a yard. Now it's 4th and 2, and of course we're going to see CV go for it again here on 4th down.
And Clearwater Valley, another program that prides itself on toughness and grit. So a big test here early, 4th and 2. As Schleeper goes to the line, the student section starting to get involved here in Logos, and we're right in the middle of it. Three receivers in the set here. One on the near side, two on the far side. Man-to-man coverage on the outside. A bad snap. Schleeper has to go pursue it. He's going to try to make something happen here. Gets away from one tackler, and it looks like he might have that first down.
It's going to be close, but I think he did get it. And I'm wondering if that was a traditional snap and a traditional play if Clearwater Valley gets the first down. But because it was basically a fire drill there, I think that allowed Schleeper to get enough of a head start to pick up the first down there. Just how they drew it up, Garrison.
Exactly. You're going to snap this one over his head to the right, and then you're just going to go chase it and get the first. So first down there, a big one for the Rams as they didn't want to give the ball back to this powerful Logos offense.
And I think Clearwater Valley, too, wants to, knowing what type of offense Logos has, runaway win over Lakeside last week, I think they want to control the clock a little bit, too, here, Garrison. We're at 3:22 of the first quarter already, still 8-0, only our third offensive possession of the game for both sides.
By the way, folks, last week, Logos got the win against Lakeside 56-0. And so they're going to pitch this one. That is the Rams on the far side of the field. They bounce it out to the outside. He's still going. And that is looking like another first down. That was the big number 12, Bass Myers.
You'll just have to take our word for it, folks, as a couple of fans are getting settled into their seats here at Logos Field. But that's the tough running from Bass Myers that we're used to seeing. Got 11 that time in the first down.
That's what we're here for, folks. We report, you decide. IdahoSports.com. First down inside the 30. So the Rams could be looking at their first red zone appearance coming up shortly here as we approach under the 3-minute mark. And as Simeon starts to pan over to the left, as we get closer to that red zone, you're going to get to see the beautiful mountains in the background. One of the best sceneries here in North Idaho. First and 10. Schleeper. Again, fakes the pitch. Another post route, but he's going to swing it to the far side. The receiver kind of had to bend down to catch that. That's Pickering. He makes a couple of fancy moves there and is able to get about a 5 or 6 yard gain.
Yeah, Lucius Comas was right there when Pickering first caught the ball, and you described it well, Garrison. He had to kind of stoop down to get it. It was by his shoe tops, and that's just determination by Pickering to stay with it, keep the feet moving, although it looks like he got maybe the wind knocked out of him there as he heads to the sideline.
Yeah, the one thing that we've noticed in Logos' progression as a program is the toughness factor. This is a school that prides itself mostly on cross country, mostly on basketball. So to start playing football, there's got to be a mentality shift, and we're really seeing it here in this first half.
Yeah, I mean, 3 years ago, Coach Holloway was basically like, all right, guys, this is a football. Here's what we do with it. You try to throw it downfield, and to see the progression to where they are now, it's been remarkable.
So 2nd and 5 after the nice moves from Pickering. Two wide receivers on the far side of the field for the Rams. Awkward snap. Schleeper throws it back across his body, incomplete. There was a knight there in his face. I didn't get the number on that one, but good pressure from Logos.
Yeah, again, that was Story coming through from that defensive tackle spot there for Logos. And you saw there Schleeper was staring down Myers the entire time. He had a couple of receivers on go routes, but I think he got so flustered by the pass rush, he kind of locked in on his one man and couldn't complete the pass.
So 3rd and 5 coming up here. Another big down, but they are in 4-down territory, as you're rarely going to see a kicker in 8-man. As the Rams come to the line of scrimmage, Logos hoping to bow up. 3 wide receivers in the set here for the Rams. One back in the backfield, that's Bass Myers. It's going to be on the right side of Schleeper. Schleeper back to pass, looking. Surveying the field, fires it over the middle. It's a slant route. It's caught. That's number 2, Trevor Altman, who takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams.
That time, Logos only rushed 3. Clearwater Valley picked it up. Schleeper had all day to throw. Nice crosser there from Trevor Altman, who's playing football for the first time. He's been known for his baseball exploits, and Coach Hutchins goes, yeah, anytime I can get an athlete like Trevor Altman, we're going to use him on offense, we're going to use him on defense, and first touchdown of the year for Trevor Altman.
So Trevor Altman gets himself in the books as we have 1:26 left here in the first quarter. It's 8-6, and now an all-important 2-point conversion. These add up as time goes on.
Yeah, if you miss 1 or 2 of them, all of a sudden you're behind almost a whole score.
That's right.
Yeah.
So 4 wide receivers, 3 down linemen for the Rams. Schleeper back to pass. He's going to keep it himself, trying to juke the defender. Great contain from the Knights, and he's not going to get it.
That was great one-on-one. Schleeper against Henry Sundley. And suddenly said, yeah, I got you, big boy. You're not going anywhere.
As the coaches are surely teaching, watch that belly button. You know, you can throw as many head fakes as you want, but that's going to go in the same direction as the body.
See, that's how I know you're a basketball coach, Garrison. That's a that's an old basketball coach technique.
That's right. And so after 3 drives, rather, as the Rams tried to get some points on the board in that first drive, had pretty good success thus far while we were getting our cameras set up. But Logos bowed up on a 4th down and forced a turnover on downs. Logos then went down and scored in pretty quick succession. And then the Rams, a very nice and long controlled offensive drive there. You mentioned that, Brandon, the tempo difference is pretty stark different there.
Yeah, Logos wants to, like a basketball team, fast break. We want to get into our action, stretch the field. Clearwater Valley's like, yeah, we're going to slow it down and run the rock, and contrasting styles to be sure, but very effective. Both teams know who they are, know what they like to do, and stick to their strengths.
Now, folks, just a reminder, tonight's game, the North Idaho Game Night, presented by P1FCU. And folks, our army of Idaho sports action photographers are covering all games all over the state. We've revamped our galleries to make it even easier to find and order your favorite action shots. Just go to IdahoSports.com and click the Action Photos link in the menu. And by the way, you can check the IdahoSports.com scoreboard, as we've got scores from all over the state of Idaho, though we'd prefer you just stay right here with us. We've got the best commentary tonight.
That's right. Our Friday Night Flash, it's our in real-time updating scoreboard of all the games from around the state. So just have that open in one window, have us going in the other, and it's the perfect combo here on Friday night.
And then you've got college football back tomorrow. It's just a great time of year, folks, as the Rams are set to kick this one away. And they send this on a squib kick down the near side of the field. That's just going to be taken on a knee, probably the safer option there. That was by number 55, Henry Sunley, who made the tackle on the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, every coach will tell you if you're a big guy and that ball's coming to you, just get on top of it and smother it.
That's right. I don't need any of this fancy stuff.
It's tempting to pick it up and try to make a play with it, but you saw the front line guy for Logos whiff on it, and then so Sunley was like, all right, I got this.
That's right. So 1:24 to go, folks, and that could take all the time this Logos offense needs to put some more points on the board, but not if the Rams have anything to say about it. 1st and 10, as Driscoll calls an audible here, and we've got a lot of shifting going on here from this offense. Driscoll takes the snap, he fakes the handoff, and they run an option play, but the ball's on the ground, and it looks like the Rams got it. That was number 1, Tiago Pickering, who dove on it.
Yeah, that option play was doomed from the start. Driscoll should have kept it at the last moment, decided to go for the pitch, and didn't quite make its intended target. Tiago Pickering, right place, right time.
And suddenly, first turnover of the night, and the Rams are in range to draw more blood here in the first quarter. They just put some points on the board, and now they have a chance to change momentum big time. Pickering leads his Rams to the line of scrimmage here. It's going to be an I formation, a deep I formation. Or excuse me, that's Schleeper under center. Takes the snap, fakes the pitch. He's looking for Pickering. That's another post route. He's got Pickering, and that's going to be a first down close to the 10-yard line.
So Pickering's the home run guy, and they last week in the season opener, they tried to go to Pickering deep several times, and they were off just a little bit. I've got a feeling that Schleeper and Pickering spent a little extra time throwing the pigskin around this week.
It sure looks like it. They've certainly got the chemistry there, as we have now hit the 1-minute mark here in the first quarter. Still 8-6 in favor of the Knights, but the Rams are knocking on the door. 1st and 10, just outside the 10-yard line. And again, the tempo difference. Got a big I formation set up here as Schleeper is under center. Schleeper, they hand it to the fullback. That's Bass Myers, who's trying to thunder his way forward. Not going to happen. Good response there from the Knights.
Yeah, and you'll see Bass Myers kind of vacillate between fullback and running back. Sometimes he's the lone back in the backfield. Sometimes they put Carson Schilling in the backfield, and Myers is the fullback. That formation where it's an I formation was pretty effective last week. Schilling found the end zone 4 times. Myers was the guy that was leading the way on the lead block every single time. So the versatility of this Clearwater Valley team pretty apparent.
And it looks like they're going to let the clock hit 0 here. And they do. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of quarter number 1 here in Moscow, Idaho, as the Logos Knights hold an 8-6 lead. We're going to step away for just a second, but we'll be right back here on IdahoSports.com.
Welcome to What If Idaho, the home of 1,000 paths for those that embrace possibility. There's no better place to be if you're looking for that next career, or just exploring. Life is a wide open door, no matter your age. Here at Next Steps Idaho, you can research careers and training options that work for you and start a dashboard to keep your plans moving forward, so you can route your path from what if to what is at nextsteps.idaho.gov.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are looking live at Moscow, Idaho, in the Palouse, the rolling hills of wheat in the background here. We've got the Logos Knights taking on the Clearwater Valley Rams. Now, we've got our cameraman here, Simeon. Simeon, what did you see in that first quarter of action?
Well, yeah, man, it's been a pretty even game so far. I mean, yeah, difference between a 2-point conversion failed and one successful. And the Knights, I mean, really just a bunch of deep pass plays that have gone pretty well for them. But then on the other side, we got the Clearwater Valley Rams, who have dominated a little bit more on the running side. But then really, they've got a couple post routes that have worked really well. And I think right now it's just a game of who can stop the other team more really on those deep balls right now that are just destroying up the defenses and making a lot of points. But, yeah.
Well, good summary there, Simeon. That's Simeon, our camera guy, keeping an eye on the action tonight. So, Brandon, as Simeon was mentioning there, just a real contrast in styles between these two offenses.
Yeah, and I think ultimately what we've seen tonight is which offensive line can give their quarterback enough time and protection, where when Schleeper's had time to throw, he's made them pay. And the one play where it was a fumble for Logos, it was because the offensive line allowed penetration on the pitch. That's me being a former offensive lineman. It always circles back to line play for me.
So 2nd and 6. And Schleeper, he is brought down quickly. They didn't even have time to get the play off there, really. And that's going to be a loss close back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it's Ryan Daniels coming through on the blitz and the sack. And what did I tell you? O-line blocking.
It's kind of important. You've heard it here first, folks. So that's going to bring up close to a 3rd and 8. And again, Logos, they had turned it over on a option run, and now they're hoping to get a big stop here. This is 4-down territory. Schleeper under center, I formation look. Motion from the defensive side. They're going to be pitch it to the outside. That's number 3, Carson Schilling. Tries to get to the outside, but he's brought down out of bounds. That was a good tackle there from number 22, Max Hawthorne.
Close to the first down marker, but I don't think he's quite there. Let's see, they're going to be 4th and 3 approximately.
So 4th and 3, as I mentioned, 4-down territory. But we're going to have a brief timeout so the Rams can talk about it here. I don't know, Simeon. There's a lot of ways you could take this on 4th and 3. What do you think we're going to see out of the Rams? Another run, maybe?
Yeah, I'm thinking that Bass Myers, he's a pretty big guy. I mean, it's just been off and on for the Logos defense. So I think with such short yardage, they'll go for him.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of times already tonight, Garrison, where they had a 4th down play. Schleeper dropped back to pass and tried to run and got stuffed. We saw a short yardage situation where Clearwater Valley lined up in the eye and said, we're going to run it. And Logos said, that's cool. We're going to cram the box and stop it. And so I wonder if maybe, like Simeon said, they want to get it to Myers, but they also want to get it to him on the edge instead of right up the middle. They haven't had much traction there tonight.
That's right. And seeing as the Rams are on the drive here, we want to thank their power boosters, Syringa Hospital, Cloninger Foods out of Kamei, and then Cottonwood Federal Credit Union. Thank you for sponsoring the Rams here on IdahoSports.com. So now here we are, a big red zone play, 4th and 3. This could shift momentum drastically as another I formation look here for the Rams, and Logos has all their defenders packed into the box. Schleeper making the call. And they're going to pitch it to the far side. That's Schilling trying to bounce it to the outside.
Oh, that's close.
Yeah, we can't call it from our vantage point, folks. Tucked in here behind the boisterous students.
They're going to give it to him. Okay, it was close, but.
So that's a first down for the Rams, and the drive continues, and more time off that clock.
But that's what we said in that timeout, right? You want to run the ball, but I think we were all in consensus that it was maybe on the edges. You might find a little more success there, and they needed 3, and they probably got 3.5.
And that's what it's been tonight, out on the edges. By the way, we're a year and 1 day since these two teams met on the field last time around. And last year, it was Clearwater Valley that came out 68-58. And it looks like we may have a fumble. The Logos players are saying they have it. And no signals, so it looks like that the Rams may keep possession here. We'll see what the call is officially.
Yeah, I think they're going to keep it with the Rams. So what happened there was center quarterback exchange was bobbled. Schleeper somehow got a hand on it, still tried to hand it off to the fullback, who I don't think was supposed to get the ball, and then that's where the ball actually hit the ground. Schleeper will learn there, hey, if the snap is fumbled, just fall on top of it. Live to fight for another day. And that's what happened last week on that pick six right before halftime. He had 2 defenders wrapped him up. Instead of taking the sack, he tried to complete the pass, ended up throwing an interception that was returned for a touchdown. But those are things that he'll learn as he gets more reps.
So now it's 2nd and goal. I formation once again. That's a pitch. Schilling to the outside. And he's brought down. Good containment there from the Knights as they have a tackle by committee.
That guy can't believe it. That was a significant loss of yardage there. It was kind of hard to tell down there on the field, but, I mean, you're looking at 3rd and goal now, Garrison, with the ball, I mean, close to the 10-yard line.
That indeed. It's back to where the official originally marked this possession here inside the red zone. So once again, they're going to go for the I formation here, and it again is still 4-down territory, but they're going to pass this one. Schleeper throws a little out route. Pickering tries to make a move, gets away from one would-be tackler, and he's finally brought down. Solid gain there for Pickering from the looks of it, which again is going to make this 4th and goal more manageable.
Yeah, so those out routes are timing routes, right? They're precision routes, and Pickering had to stop his momentum so he could catch the ball. I think if he's able to continue that momentum, he turns the corner and is probably dancing in the end zone. But as it is, he did a good job getting what yardage he could. And all right, Simeon, 4th down. What do we call here?
Honestly, at this point, I think the outside plays have been doing them the best. Maybe a little pitch again, but we'll see. That pass to the outside just did pretty well. So
typical Ohio State fan talking about the outside as we go to the I formation here. Schleeper throws it back across his body, and there's no signal yet. It looks like the Knights stopped him. And that's going to be a turnover on down. It looks like the pass was complete to number 2 for the Rams. That was Trevor Altman, who had the first touchdown, but no go this time around.
I love the play call there. A little backside slip screen, but you know what I love better than the play call? I love the execution of the Logos defense to get the stop. That was huge.
Big-time defensive play there. That's back-to-back possessions now where the defense has stepped up. It looked like it was going to be offense all night, but defense has had enough of that.
Yeah, and now Logos is taking a timeout here with 8:15 to play before halftime because they're going to have this ball, Garrison, at their own 1-yard line, the 2 maybe. So I wonder here, and you'll be able to tell me this, Coach Holloway loves to run that shotgun offense with lots of backs coming in and out of motion, but when you're this close into your own end zone, sometimes you just go under center and you're like, all right, let's get a little breathing room here.
That's
is that something we could see?
Oh, for sure. In fact, we saw that in previous drives where Driscoll would just keep the ball himself, run it right up the middle, and get some short first downs. So we could very well see some just quick draw plays right up the gut for the Knights in order to get some more breathing room, as you mentioned. And folks, again, the last time these two teams met was back September 2nd. So we're actually a day behind, so almost a year to this day where they last met, and the Knights fell at the hands of the Rams 68-58. So a nice basketball game there. So it's going to be 1st and 10. Ball spotted inside the 5-yard line. So they got over 95 yards of green in front of them. And they're going to come out in a very spread out formation once again. And the Rams got to respect it. It's man-to-man coverage on the outside. Driscoll alone in the backfield. Takes the snap, keeps it himself, and it's right up the middle. Spins forward. Driscoll, he's in the open. And he's brought down at the 35-yard line. A 30-yard scamper for the quarterback, Jack Driscoll.
Well, there's that breathing room they needed, right?
Yeah, just run it up the middle.
I mean, last week, Driscoll carried the ball 7 times, Garrison, had 117 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. I mean, that's close to 20 yards a carry. We saw it right there. That's what an athlete like Jack Driscoll can do for you in 8-man football.
Absolutely. And it's going to bring up a fresh set of downs here. Ball spotted at the 35-yard line, right in the middle of the hashes. The sun has gone down behind us here, noticeably cooler. Right in the 65-degree mark. Clear skies, no wind to speak of. Beautiful night for football here in Moscow. Very spread out formation once again for the Knights. Some motion there from the wide receiver. That's number, and we've got a flag here, so it looks like illegal motion. That was number 55, Henry Sunley, who was in motion.
Yeah, this is what we talked about with such a precision package here pre-snap. Every piece on the chessboard's got to be just so.
That's going to be 1st and 15 after the 5-yard penalty.
I would struggle in an offense like this.
So much movement here. Now we've got movement from Sunley on the near side of your screen. Driscoll fakes the handoff to him. He's going to spin and roll to his left now. Looking downfield, he's going to tuck it and run. Driscoll spins away and is brought down for a solid gain there as he's out past the 40. So it's over a 10-yard gain, but they had to go past the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, little extra activity on that Logos sideline at the end of the play. Bass Myers and Sunley got kind of tangled up and ended up taking each other out right there by one of the Logos coaches. I think everybody checking to make sure they're all right. Man, these two teams, though, they're going to leave it all out there. I'll tell you that much.
That they are. As we are now approaching the 6:30 mark here in quarter number 2, still 8-6, as Driscoll is alone in the backfield. And again, we've got motion, and that's probably Sunley. Nope, that's not. That's number 18, Dominic Porras. And they go back to Sunley on the crossing route, or excuse me, that's Ben Carlson, and the pass is incomplete.
Yeah, right off the chest plate there, incomplete. Now one of the few times we've seen the Logos offense into a 3rd down here. So can Clearwater Valley get the stop that they need? I'll be honest, I'm shocked at this score. What was the score of last year's game, Garrison?
65-50, or excuse me, 65-55, somewhere in there.
8-6, I think we all saw this coming.
Totally.
I think that one might have been 68-58.
68-58, somewhere in there,
Yeah.
some basketball game. So Driscoll in the gun. Wide receivers tucked very tightly together on the outside. It's a quarterback keeper up the middle, and Driscoll's got it for the 1st down run there.
And that's the thing with Driscoll. He gets a head of steam going, and at that time, thank you.
And folks, that's why we love coming to Logos. They serve us broadcasters so well. We've got pulled pork here with some cold slaw. My goodness.
Chips too. Yeah, this looks really good. This is going to be. Sorry, Simeon, none for you. No, I'm just
It's
kidding.
all good. I'm focused on the game.
Well, why don't you call it while we dig in? No, I'm just kidding. 1st and 10 here after the run from Driscoll. Motion from the far side. Driscoll takes the snap, 3-step drop, looks. He's going to throw it deep over the top, and it's incomplete. That was almost brought in by number 16, Lucius Comas, one of the deep threats for the Knights.
Comas lost the ball, and then he lost his helmet. In and out of the bread basket, Garrison. And
I tell you, as a former wide receiver myself, I can hear my old coach's voice already. You touch it, you catch it. But still, great effort there from Comas.
As you were doing the call there, I could hear your brain going, it is not caught.
Make sure you see him bring it in. He did not.
That was great. That was a great adjustment.
So second and 10 now after the incompletion. And now we've got some motion here. The offensive tackles go back into hatchback positions here. They hand it off to Morrow right up the middle, and he bounces off one tackler before being brought down there at the second level. Tackle was made by, it looked like, number 17. And I'm not seeing a 17. That could have been number 12, Bass Myers.
Yeah, that 2 on the back of the jersey is a little scrunched up at the bottom. Looks like a 7. But so Bass Myers is a guy that can play all 3 levels. He's officially listed as a safety. He'll play a linebacker, and you'll see right there he can creep up into the box as a DN too.
8-man football, you gotta love it. So again, motion from the Knights. They gotta make sure that everyone is lined up correctly. That's motion from Comas on the far side. And they fake the handoff. Driscoll keeps it himself, and he runs up the middle, is spun forward, well past the first down sticks. And that's gonna be another fresh set of downs for the Knights.
And again, it's not like Logos is getting those 20, 30-yard chunk plays, but they are picking up 5, 6, 7, which is enough to move the chains, and that's back-to-back 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 plays where Logos has gotten about 7 in the first down. That's just so deflating.
Very much so, especially after holding them on the first 2. So now, 1st and 10. Driscoll surveying the field, 3 down linemen from the Rams. Driscoll looks to the far side. It's a quick out pass. The receiver kind of had to wait on that one, but a great move there, a juke play. He could take it the distance, but he's finally brought down from behind. What a play from number 12, Ryan Daniels. We've called his name before.
Yeah, he's the only guy that scored tonight for Logos. He got the touchdown and the 2-point conversion on the opening drive, and I'll tell you what, that big run after the catch was sprung by the great block in the perimeter. Ben Carlson pancaked Carson Schilling.
Former offensive lineman Bainey, you gotta give them the call there as Driscoll tries to add to that play by running it up the middle. Just wasn't happening there. So a good response from the Rams after being punched in the gut, so to speak.
Yeah, about a half a yard gain there, but again, Logos doing a pretty good job of just kind of slowly working their. This drive started at the 1-yard line, Garrison, and now look at they're inside the 10.
3:30 to go here in the first half. So if everything were to go correctly for the Rams, obviously they want to get the stop, but if Logos scores now, they still got plenty of time to go down on their end. 2nd down.
And Logos recognizes that, and they're trying to burn as much of the clock as they can.
That's right. A game of chess here, but now we've got a timeout, and that's going to be taken by the Rams. They noticed that, and they want to stop the clock, so they make sure that they have some time to work with on offense, if it comes to that.
Yeah, I think Logos took that timeout because they were going to be into delay of game territory, and obviously you don't want that. So very interesting, though, the 2 coaches here, Alan Hutchins in his 4th year at Clearwater Valley, Nick Holloway in his 3rd year, obviously at Logos, only coach the Knights have ever known. But both these guys know the game of football. Coach Hutchins played for Clearwater Valley High in 1994. He was the starting quarterback for the Rams.
My goodness, and he is now running the program pretty successfully here.
He's the athletic director at Clearwater Valley High too, so he's a busy guy.
I'm just running all the sports, no big deal. Go Gadget athletic director.
Big thanks to the athletic director here at Logos, Patrick Lopez, taking care of us, including this halftime food we're about to enjoy.
Oh man, just looking at it makes it difficult to commentate, folks. The things we have to deal with. 2nd and goal.
We're persevering though, Garrison.
That's right. We're staying strong, folks. So 3:14, waiting for the officials. Just making sure everything is set there. And we've got the go-ahead as Driscoll ready to take the snap. Again, 2 down linemen, but 2 outside linebackers from the Rams as well. Driscoll tries to run to the left side, and he falls, and that was intercepted, so he was saved by his knee there. Unbelievable.
Oh, wow, down to a knee, wipes out the pick. I guess you could say, you know, sometimes when you're praying, you drop to a knee. I guess his prayers were answered there, Garrison.
Hail Mary right there in a different way than we're used to seeing. So that's a pretty significant loss. It's going to be 3rd and goal from about the, we'll call it the 13-yard line, which you could argue would give Logos's offense more room to work with. Driscoll, a low snap. He's going to roll to his right, looking. He's got a target in the end zone. Touchdown! Lucius Comus. He's got his name in the books.
Yeah, they caught Trevor Altman out there on an island. Altman came up because he was worried Driscoll was going to take off and run. Driscoll dumps it over the top. There's no backside help. And again, going from a pick in the end zone to a touchdown. Pretty good fortunes.
And pretty deflating for the Rams there, thinking, oh my goodness, do we have an interception here? Suddenly Logos adds to their lead. 14-6 the score here with 2:39 left in the first half. And now a very important 2-point conversion here, as if they convert, it's going to be a 2-possession ball game. One wide receiver on either side of the field. Driscoll has 2 backs to either side. Pressure being shown from the Rams. Driscoll back to pass. It's a slant route across the middle, and it's incomplete. The defender, great job of meeting the ball at the same time that the receiver did.
Yeah, it's Pickering with the coverage there for Clearwater Valley. Excellent job to get the stop there on the 2-point try. And yeah, 2:39 to go before halftime. 14-6. That's just how we saw it going down.
Exactly. And folks, again, that was a very important stop there for the Rams, forcing them away from a 2-point conversion there that would have made it 2-possession game. So at this time, we want to thank some of our sponsors. Simmons Sanitation. All of us at Simmons Sanitation wish the Clearwater Valley Rams good luck tonight. Call us at 208-935-2617 for all your solid waste needs. Remember, we are the only ones that talk trash. I love that. Simmons Sanitation is a proud supporter of high school sports in northern Idaho. And how about Perfection Tire? The professional sales staff at Perfection Tire in Kamei is eagerly waiting to provide you with incredible service and the latest automotive products available. Perfection Tire can take care of all your tire needs and more, including brakes, shocks, struts, tune-ups, oil changes, alignments, and more. If nothing is wrong with your car or truck now, bring it in and we will help keep it that way with our 30-60-90 preventative maintenance program. Stop in and see Dallas or Jerry at Perfection Tire in Kamei and give them a call at 208-935-2999 or go online at www.perfectiontire.com. Perfection Tire proudly supports Ram Athletics. And just like that, the Logos Knights are set to kick the ball away here. Number 7, Jake Paradiso, is set to kick it. And it's a squib kick right out of bounds because, again, in 8-man football, that's honestly not the worst way to go. That was number 24, Jake Fabi, who was, or is it Fabi? Fabi. I always do that, but Jake Fabi ready to receive, but it went straight out of bounds.
So the Fabi family, there's 4 boys. Christian is the oldest. He lives in Italy now, and so he may be tuned in overseas. And if you are, hey, Christian, thanks for watching. The second oldest, Louis Fabi, was the quarterback for the Rams last year. He's graduated. Jake now a junior. And then the final Fabi boy, Pete, is a freshman. So don't you love these small towns where you get these big families and it's the same names year after year?
Just generational talent. And that's what the Fabbies have done for Clearwater Valley in the years past. So shout out to the Fabi family there.
And Logos has got some of those too, even though in football it's still relatively new, but in other sports, you know, like Case Bolt is a name I recognize.
Absolutely.
Lots of boys and girls.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 here, and some major shifting happening from Logos, which is just what you want to see right before a play. Snap taken by Schleeper. He's got to roll away from the pressure, and there's some holding there, so there's a flag thrown, and Schleeper is going to do what he can. He gets about 5 yards on the play, but an obvious holding call in the backfield.
Yeah, pretty telltale there, and you even got Sundley, the guy who was being held, did the classic, throws his arms up right by the official. Hey, you going to do something about this?
And they did. Got an excellent officiating crew here tonight.
Yeah, they gave us the lineup card here before the game tonight. Kirby Kirkham is our head referee. We've got Amory Wilson, Alan Johnson, and Don Kirby here as well. So we've got Kirby Kirkham and Don Kirby. That could be kind of confusing.
They're just messing with us here in District 2. I like it. So after the penalty, that's a 10-yard penalty, and it's going to make it 2nd and 20, or excuse me, 1st and 20. So it'll reset, so they still have time to do something with the offense here. 2:30 to go here in the first half.
Man, that's a big penalty, though, because it's 10 yards from the spot of the foul, and it was already, 5 or 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So you're looking at about 1st and 15.
And some shifting here, and we've got number 2 to the near side here. That's Trevor Altman. Schleeper in the gun with a back near him and 2 wide receivers to the far side. Again, the snap to the right, and he had to throw it back across his body, and it's incomplete. The intended target there, I believe that was Carson Schilling. Or excuse me, that was number 8. You know what? It was number 3, Schilling.
Yeah, the numbers, 3 and 8, pretty similar. But I think the internal clock for Schleeper is getting sped up when things aren't just so. So that time the snap was a little wild. Schleeper had to go get it. That speeds up that internal clock. Even though there was no pass rush, he felt the pressure, threw the ball a little quicker than I think he wanted to, and that's why it was low.
So after the incompletion there, 2nd and 20. Again, 3 wide receivers in the set here. Similar formation, except the 2 are on the near side. Schleeper back to pass. Surveys the field. Throws a deep ball over the middle, and it's way over the head of Pickering and incomplete. The nearest player to that was number 12, Ryan Daniels, and he would have loved to add an interception to his tally.
Sometimes a quarterback's just got to show off, hey, watch how far I can throw this.
That's right.
I can throw it over those mountains there.
Hey. Oh, goodness. Napoleon Dynamite, you got to love it.
I mean, that's, you said earlier in the broadcast I'd lived in Southeast Idaho prior to moving up to North Idaho this year. And, of course, Preston is where they filmed Napoleon Dynamite, so that's a big deal down there.
There you go. Yep, that was Schleeper on that one. It did try to throw it over those mountains, but it was incomplete. And now 3rd and 20, staring the Rams in the face. And they want to talk about it. So they're going to take a quick timeout here. And so are we. Folks, we'll be right back here on IdahoSports.com.
Yeah, I know a little something about myths. Like the myth that speeding isn't dangerous. Oh, and that myth you can tailgate at a safe distance. Or that you could safely weave in and out of traffic. Don't be fooled by myths. You'll get yourself into a hairy situation. Stay focused on the road. Be a legend like me. Have you heard the one about Charlie over at Pay Lake?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Moscow, Idaho, here in District 2, as we've got the hometown Logos Knights taking on the visiting Clearwater Valley Rams. The Rams currently staring at a 3rd and 20. If they want to keep the drive alive, they at least have to get a good chunk of yardage here to set up a more manageable 4th down. 2 down linemen for the Knights, 3 backers over the top. Schleeper looking, throws it to the far side of the field, over the head of Pickering. It was a decent attempt there, but incomplete, and now 4th and 20.
Yeah, I liked the idea there, but if Pickering were a couple inches taller, he's probably able to haul that in. Just a little high on the throw, and I don't know if we'll see our first punt of the night here or not. I mean, the ball's back at their own 30. You would think you wouldn't want to turn it over on downs there. I don't know. We'll see.
Now, did they use the same crew for the punt team?
Honestly, I don't know that they punted last week. I mean,
it
was 72 to 54.
Right. A little bit of scoring there. So looking at the formation, it does look like Schleeper could take a quarterback punt here. We'll see if that's what he does. And it is. It's an end-over-end kind of side spiral, but it takes a Rams bounce all the way to inside the 40. So all things considered, that's a pretty good punt there from Schleeper.
And a couple of Logos guys got really close to that ball, and one of the assistant coaches goes, hey, this signal when I take my arms and I go like this means get away from it. Because we've seen sometimes where a low line drive kick like that bounces and hits somebody's foot. and that's a live ball, and all of a sudden Clearwater Valley can get that. So.
And sometimes in the heat of the moment, you know, easier said than done when you're thinking, wait a minute, is this a kickoff or is this we've seen it before in eight-man football where sometimes things can just get crazy.
Yeah, and every team has a universal code word they use to get away from it. When I played, it was Peter, Peter, Peter. I don't know what yours was when you played Garrison, but.
Oh, I can't even remember, honestly. First and 10 for the Knights, and they've got 2 minutes and 9 seconds to work with before the first half comes to a close. That's Comus going in motion. Driscoll rolls to the far side. It's student body right. He's going to try to get what he can here, but pretty good contain there from the Rams on the outside.
Yeah, you mentioned student body right, and I was looking at him like, man, Driscoll's the only guy I see because his 3 linemen were like 10 yards downfield paving the way. So that's a nice job. They do. I have noticed Logos does a really good job of getting to the second level in terms of blocking, and so that's why they get all these big chunk yardage plays.
So 2nd and 5 after the run to the right side there. Driscoll alone in the backfield. 4 wide receivers in the set here, and then 2 hatchbacks at the offensive line. Motion there. Driscoll has to bend down and get that pass. He's looking, throws it, and it's caught in the second level, but this isn't the NFL. So it's down where he caught it, and I believe that was Comus, number 16.
Yeah, I think that might have been Comus or Porras, 18 or 16. But either way, nice sliding grab.
And it's going to break a 3rd and short here after that catch. So they're setting up a 3rd and manageable here. Again, motion from the Knights, motion before almost every play. Driscoll surveying the field, takes the snap. It's a 5-step drop here. It's kind of a screen play. Another diving catch there to Jonathan Morrill. And it's a first down, but there is a flag.
Yeah, that flag thrown right at the down marker for the first down, which leads me to believe some sort of contact. Oh, an illegal shift, okay.
So again, that's something we talked about earlier in the broadcast. There's just so much movement on this Logos offense that sometimes that leads to penalties.
It's a unique offense, and as an official, I mean, these officials tonight have to be well prepared for that, you know, constantly vigilant to look and make sure that everybody is set. So it makes their job even more difficult, too.
So now it's going to be 3rd and 6 after the penalty. Shotgun set here once again for the Knights as Driscoll is alone in the backfield. Driscoll back to pass, looking, throws it to the second level. It's a nice out route. It looks like a catch from our vantage point, and it is. First down Knights. That was number 8, Paul Greaser on the catch.
Only person from Clearwater Valley that was even close to the play was head coach Alan Hutchins. He was on that sideline, and he kind of pointed like, hey, help me out here. I don't know that he was in. Not going to win the argument, but.
It's worth a shot. So a shotgun set here once again. Driscoll alone in the backfield. 2 wide receivers on the near side and far side. Driscoll, back to pass, rolling to his left, and he finds Morrill. He's got the first down, lowers the shoulder. He's still going and finally pushed out of bounds, close to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, and Morrill did a great job of picking him the first down and more. That ball will get set, and then the clock will run. We're down to a minute to play here before halftime, but plenty of time for this Logos offense.
Clock is now rolling, 53 and counting. Same exact formation here for the Knights. 2 down linemen for the Rams. Man-to-man coverage on the outside. Driscoll goes back to the same side. That's number 18, Porras. And he's pushed out of bounds for a gain of about 5 yards.
So Porras last week had 2 catches for 2 touchdowns. That's going to hurt the old average a little bit there.
That's right.
No, that's the thing. That's the vibe I get from this Logos team, though, that they're not really wrapped up in individual stats. They know that, hey, we've got a lot of dudes that can ball, and we're happy that we can all share in the success.
Absolutely. Spread the wealth to the weapons all over the field, as it's going to be a 2nd and about 4 here after a pickup of 6. Driscoll back to pass, looking. Throws it deep down the left side, and it's caught. Way to keep the feet in bounds. That was Porras once again.
the arm strength that Driscoll has as he's rolling out to his right to then turn back to the left on a dime and just fire a laser. It's really impressive. We talk about what an athlete Driscoll is, but he's also a pretty darn good quarterback.
That he is. A baseball standout as well as Driscoll. Getting some looks from some D2, some NAIA schools. Driscoll rolling to his right. He's going to run it this time using his legs, but he pulls it for a throw. That was nearly intercepted. And sometimes as a gunslinger, you just think, I can fit it in there. And then the defense closes quickly.
Yeah, that was Jake Fabi on the coverage, nearly coming away with the pick for Clearwater Valley. You talked about what a baseball player Driscoll is. Of course, Logos doesn't have their own team, so he gets to play with the big boys at Moscow High, the Moscow Bears, and he, coming from a 1A school, he's one of the best players on the team, which is something.
That's right. Now, Simeon, you can kind of speak to that. You play for the Bears, don't you?
Yes, sir, I do. Played on the JV team with another player from Logos, Gunnar Holloway, as well.
Ah, coach's son. Here we go.
Yep.
Inside the booth on IdahoSports.com. 31 seconds to go here. They fake the sweep. Driscoll keeps it himself and runs right up the middle. And we'll see where they spot this. And that's a timeout taken by Logos. So it looked like they just wanted to get as much as they could. They're going to spot this inside the 5-yard line, and it's going to be 2nd and goal. And now we have a timeout taken with 27 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, so I think 3rd and goal upcoming, and I believe that was also the 3rd and final timeout for Logos. So I don't think they have any more timeouts left here, Garrison, which means 2 downs to score. You're 5 yards out. You can definitely run the ball if you want to. If you don't get in, you've got to hurry up and get to the line, because the only way the clock stops is if you get out of bounds or pick up a first down. Can't pick up a first down, it's 3rd and goal.
And so some situational football coming into play here. The Logos especially has to be aware that, hey, we don't have a timeout. If we're tackled in bounds, we got to get to the line of scrimmage.
And you can't even get to the line and spike it because it's 3rd down. So if you run a play and you don't get in, it's 4th down. You've got to hurry up. So I'm sure Coach Holloway has called 2 plays in the huddle just to be prepared.
Coach Holloway had some NFL experience of his own. So if anyone knows a 2-minute offense, it's going to be him. So again, 3rd and goal as Driscoll set up alone in the backfield. 4 wide receivers in the set, spaced very far out. The Rams spacing out themselves, 2 down linemen, 2 backers over the top of them. Driscoll, he's going to run to his left, looks to throw to the end zone, and it's incomplete. It looked like he had a target, but it was off of one of his hands there, kind of had to slide down for it.
Yeah, Porras, the intended receiver there again. Only took 4 seconds off the clock, so 23 seconds to play here before the half, but good coverage by Clearwater Valley. I think the closer they get to the end zone, the tighter the windows are.
23 seconds now. So this is it, 4th and goal. Driscoll back to pass, looking. It's a wheel route in the end zone. And it's caught! Touchdown! And that was a delayed signal there. And that's number 16, Lucius Comas, who finds the end zone.
Yeah, beautiful out route that time, and good touch. We saw the velocity from Driscoll on a previous throw. That time we saw the touch where he dropped it right over the top of the defender for the touchdown.
So it's 20-6. 6 more points on the board for the Knights. And they hope to convert this 2-point conversion here. They didn't convert last time around. So let's see if the Rams can get another stop. Driscoll alone in the backfield. He's going to roll to the right. He's looking, and there's a flag that's going to be a block in the back. The 2-point conversion is good, but let's see what the call is here from the official. And it is a block in the back, so that's wiped off the board. They'll do it again.
And that was, I believe, Porras who made that grab, but I mean, that's a huge touchdown for Logos. 19 seconds to go before halftime. Logos gets the ball to start the second half as well.
So we could be looking at a 2-score swing here potentially if Logos is able to capitalize in the second half and score.
Yeah, the old 2-for-1 there. You score right before halftime, you score on the first drive of the second half, and
getting as much value as they can out of this situation here as Driscoll once again alone in the backfield. Motion from the outside and the inside. Driscoll back to pass, looking, throws it to the far side of the field. It's a corner route, and it's over the head of everybody, incomplete. His intended target there was Comus.
And Driscoll took a little shot there as he unloaded that, lost his towel that was around his waist, and he's a tough guy, though. He'll be all right.
That he is. 20-6 after that drive from the Knights. Saw them punch it into the end zone with 19 seconds to go. And again, we talk about this the last time these two teams played each other. The score was 68-58 in favor of the Rams. So a little bit of a different game here thus far in the first half.
Yeah, and I think both coaches, I mean, they obviously both have very good offenses, but I think both coaches would tell you, hey, we don't mind a defensive game, because when you get into the playoffs, and we know this happens a lot, the White Pine League in the regular season is an offensive league, right? Teams 50, 60 points a lot of times. But when you get to the playoffs and you're having to face Oakley and Raft River and Butte County, points are going to be at a premium. So it's all about which team can play the best defense in October, usually the team that holds that big blue trophy at the end. And Oakley, I mean, earlier today, Garrison, on IdahoSports.com, the battle in Boise, Oakley and Kendrick got to play on the Smurf turf down there at Boise State University. And Kendrick won pretty convincingly. They won by, I think, 3 or 4 scores. It was very eye-opening.
My goodness, a very impactful performance there from Kendrick. And for the folks at home, this senior core of Kendrick players is now 29-4, because they're 2-0 to start this season. That's a lot of winning as far as the culture is concerned.
And, of course, Kendrick next year will be moving up to the 1A D1 level. They'll be a new entrant into this. As if the White Pine League wasn't tough enough already, Garrison, here comes Kendrick.
And Kendrick, what a successful program there. As the Knights are ready to send this one away with 19 seconds on the clock. This is a little pooch kick, and it's taken, and boy, did he pay for that. That was number 55 who came flying in like a rocket, Henry Sunley.
Jake Fabi fielded that kickoff for Clearwater Valley and then got driven back about 5 yards. I don't know, 16 seconds to go before halftime. I think Clearwater Valley's got at least one timeout still remaining, but long way to go, too.
So 16 seconds. They're going to start this one off at the 32-yard line. So a lot of green in front of them, but that also means a lot of space to work with when it comes to 8-man football. 2 down linemen for the Knights, 2 backers over the top of them, and then 4 deep. A 2-2-4 formation here. Kind of a prevent offense, which will give the Rams some space to work with on the outside. Motion from the Rams. It's an I formation. Look at Schleeper. He's going to roll to his left. He's looking for Pickering. Can't find him. Being pressured. He's going to get away from the pressure. And he's just going to run out of bounds. If you can't find anything, that's a smart thing to do. But we're looking at 7 seconds on the clock now.
I'm telling you, you just saw it. Some fans getting up, heading to the concession stand, trying to get a beat on the traffic. I don't know. 7 seconds left before halftime. You might miss something really cool here. I don't know.
But that's why we're here to broadcast it for
right.
you, so you all can leave, and we'll take care of the broadcast here.
Yeah.
It's going to be 2nd and 9, so a pickup of 1 on that previous play.
I mean, Schleeper's got the arm, right, to throw it
does.
downfield.
So that's Bass Myers, who's going to be the slot receiver on the near side. And then on the far side, we also have 2 receivers. 4 wide receivers total as Schleeper back to pass. He wants to get it to Pickering. And there's some flags coming in. He did get it to Pickering. He's out past the first down marker and out into the 50. But the clock hit 0. We'll see what this flag is about. It's in the backfield.
Now it's against Clearwater Valley. It looks like, yeah, holding.
So that was against Clearwater Valley, and that means that is the end of the first half here in Moscow, Idaho. The score at the break, the Logos Knights 20 and Clearwater Valley 6. Folks, we're going to take a short break here, but we'll be back after that break to talk to you about what we saw so far in the first half. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on IdahoSports.com.
Make the memories of this game last a lifetime. By downloading the digital game file of this contest, you can have your own personal copy of this game forever. These make great gifts for the student athletes involved. Just click the Order Now button for more details.
At P1FCU, we're all about celebrating your wins, like finding an extra $10 in the wash.
Sweet.
Or your team winning the championship.
And it's out of here. Yes! Woo!
Your wins add up, just like earning dividends in an Ascend checking account. So let's celebrate the wins together. Open your account at p1fcu.org/win. P1FCU, your community, your credit union.
Dear Detour, you asked us to measure up. So yeah, we did. When life slings you mud, sling it right back. Stay strong. Toyota Trucks.
Toyota. Let's go places.
Yeah, I know a little something about myths. Like the myth that speeding isn't dangerous. Oh, and that myth you can tailgate at a safe distance. Or that you could safely weave in and out of traffic. Don't be fooled by myths. You'll get yourself into a hairy situation. Stay focused on the road. Be a legend like me. Have you heard the one about Charlie over at Pay Lake?
Always entertaining and occasionally controversial, the North Idaho Prepcast covers every inch of District 1 and District 2 activities in Idaho.
Bonners Ferry, like the whole town was there, it seemed. I mean, they showed up, they were tailgating in the parking lot, barbecuing, playing games. Like, it literally felt like a small college atmosphere. It was super cool.
Hosted by Ryan Skaggs, the North Idaho Prepcast features the biggest stories happening in your area. Just go to IdahoSports.com and click Prepcasts in the menu to get caught up on what you've been missing, or check out each week's episode on the IdahoSports.com YouTube channel, Facebook page, or wherever you download podcasts.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy. It takes courage and determination to do hard things. Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Welcome to What If Idaho, the home of 1,000 paths for those that embrace possibility. There's no better place to be if you're looking for that next career, or just exploring. Life is a wide open door, no matter your age. Here at Next Steps Idaho, you can research careers and training options that work for you, and start a dashboard to keep your plans moving forward, so you can route your path from what if to what is at nextsteps.idaho.gov.
Our army of IdahoSports.com action photographers are covering games all over the state. And now we've revamped our galleries to make it even easier to find and order your favorite action shots. Just go to IdahoSports.com and click the Action Photos link in the menu.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
Dear road rivals, you may have 4 wheels and a similar build, but our resemblance ends right there. Later, Toyota. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Moscow, Idaho, as you have just witnessed the halftime ads, and we're looking at the halftime coverage here in Moscow. As
we're looking at Athletic Director Patrick Lopez.
That's right. Hey, I understand it's IdahoSports.com. You got to get in there. So, in any case, at halftime, the Logos Knights lead at 20-6 here in Moscow. Again, a beautiful, clear night here. Perfect night for football. And boy, did we witness a good first half, a great defensive first half, Brandon. Maybe not something we were expecting.
Yeah, defensively, Logos has stopped Clearwater Valley 2 different times on 4th down. Clearwater Valley, of course, had a fumble recovery. Tiago Pickering recovered an errant option pitch from Jack Driscoll. And so, yeah, both defenses have settled in pretty nicely here. The big key has been Logos has been able to capitalize and finish on its drives, whereas Clearwater Valley, as we mentioned, twice on 4th down has been turned away.
And before we continue on, welcome into the Next Steps Idaho halftime show. Thinking about what's next for your career or education? Next Steps Idaho can help bring you closer to the life you want to lead. Thanks for watching the Next Steps Idaho halftime show. And yeah, again, a great first half there. We see Clearwater Valley out there getting ready for the second half. Now, they've got some work to do. Offensively, they just weren't able to get things going. It seemed like Simeon, Brandon, you both touched on this, how a lot of times they were having more success getting the ball to the outside of the line of scrimmage. Maybe is that something they tap into a little bit more as we look ahead?
Yeah, what do you think there, Simeon?
Honestly, do what works, right? I mean, right now we've only got 1 score on the board, but since it came from something like that, just keep grinding what works and hope your defense makes a stop.
Yeah, I think we saw there towards the end of the first half, Clearwater Valley wanted to open up the offense a little more with some downfield throws, and they were just a little bit off, and that kind of stalled and stunted a couple of their drives. But Schleiper does have the 1 touchdown pass to Trevor Altman. Jack Driscoll says, "Yeah, I've got 3. I've got 2. I've got 2 to Lucius Comas and 1 to Ryan Daniels, and that is the first half scoring as well."
Now, folks, we also talked about this in the first half, but the 1A D1 White Pine League is one of the most competitive leagues in the state of Idaho. You got Lapway, you got Logos, Genesee, Kamei, Potlatch, Prairie, Clearwater Valley, Troy, and next year, you've got Kamei entering the equation, but right now we'll focus here. Brandon, as this year shakes out, you know, we talked about Logos being 3rd in the media poll and whatnot. Who are some other teams that maybe the folks at home should be keeping an eye on as these games start to cascade for us?
Yeah, when we did that preseason coaches poll, we asked each coach anonymously to rank them 1 through 8. How do you think it's going to shake out? And I will tell you, Kamei was kind of the consensus number 1. They should be. They're the defending league champs.
Right.
But then from there, I saw 5 different teams get picked at least 2nd, which tells you there's a lot of uncertainty. Prairie officially was 2nd in our poll. Logos was 3rd. Clearwater Valley, which actually they're like, hey, we actually took 2nd place last year. They were picked 4th. And then I really think Potlatch is a team that a lot of people are like, they're kind of sneaky. They always play really good defense. And so there's never going to be an easy night in this league. That is for sure. A couple of scores here on our Friday Night Flash. We've got Potlatch. I just talked about how good they're up 60-0 over Genesee. They're hosting. That's the one team. Genesee is a team that just has low numbers. They're actually moving on their way down. So you mentioned Kendrick's moving up to 1A D1. Genesee next year will be 1A D2. They're the one team that is really going to struggle this year. And then 1 through 7, hey, put them in a hat and pull out, and we'll see.
And, you know, one thing we talked about was focusing in on Logos a little bit more was just the improvement we've seen within the first 3 years of the program here. First off, the first year, it was a rough go. The next year, they went 3-6. But during that season, they had 4 games where they only lost by 10 or less. So some massive improvement there. And here we are, year 3, 1-0 thus far, and doing well against Clearwater Valley. And just so you guys have an idea with the media poll, the top 5 was Oakley, Grace, Kamei, Notice, Butte County, and Lighthouse Christian. The others receiving votes, Logos. They got a vote. So that just shows how much respect they have earned thus far. And one of the teams that was ranked ahead of them, Notice, Logos took care of them that was Lakeside
yep.
that they were talking about. Notice just played Clearwater Valley and pulled off an impressive 18-point win in quite a bit of a shootout. Brandon, you were there for that one.
Yeah, that was a fun game where Clearwater Valley couldn't get the stops, and that forced their offense to be almost perfect. And we've seen a similar thing tonight where, yeah, they've only allowed 20 points, but Logos has had the ball 4 times, and 3 of the 4 times they've scored. And so that really puts a lot of pressure on the offense there. Yeah, Logos got to play Lakeside last week in a Battle of the Knights. They're both called the Knights. So no matter who you picked there, you were a winner if you said the Knights were going to win. But the thing with Logos, you mentioned third year of playing football, period, at Logos High School. The one thing they've always had from the jump that I've noticed is large numbers. They've got a lot of guys in the hallways that are like, yeah, let's play football. You don't see a lot of 8-man teams that have sidelines with 20 players like Logos does. And that depth has allowed the very best players to rise to the top because you're constantly getting pushed by the backups in practice. And that's the biggest reason, I think, why Logos has been able to turn the corner so quickly is because of the depth. It's really impressive.
And, you know, that as somebody who lives within this community, Logos, the church that Logos is involved in, Christ Church, has seen just massive numbers of people moving to be a part of the community. And what do they have? A lot of kids. So at least 500 families have moved into the community within the last couple of years. That's really boosted Logos's numbers to the point where in the background you can't see it on camera, but they're getting ready to build a whole new facility out here next to the football complex. So Logos as a program is going to see its numbers continuing to rise here in the coming years, and they're probably going to be moving up a division as time moves on.
I was going to ask you that. Do you anticipate where, I mean, the next level up is 2A. It's 11-man football. Do you see that in Logos' future?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the only way they can go as the numbers continue to pour in. Logos Online is a thing with over 3,000 students enrolled. Logos is, at this point, the waiting list is massive for Logos. So they're kind of up a creek, as some of the leadership has said, as far as where do we put these students. So Logos, again, seeing massive growth and then probably going to be moving up as far as division is concerned.
I think you're seeing a bit of a revival nationwide, not just in Idaho, but nationwide, of a faith-based revival where even down in southern Idaho, in the Boise area, Coal Valley Christian is a school that's going to jump from 2A to 3A, and they are working on kind of like Logos, building a brand new campus with new facilities, their own football field. Right now they kind of have to jump around different parks in town, but they have such a strong influx of people that are at the church and at the school that they're like, yeah, we're going to move up to 3A. We're going to have our own campus. It's going to be huge, and it's going to be great. I think you're seeing that in towns all across America.
That's right. Well, folks, back on the field, a minute and a half to go here before halftime is over, and the teams are ready to get set and kick things away. Logos, back on the strategic side of things, they're going to get the ball first. So an excellent way to end the half for the Knights, as they were able to punch it in with 19 seconds left on the clock. And then Clearwater Valley was the team that received the opening kickoff. So the Knights will start things off here with a chance to extend their lead and maybe put a stranglehold on this game.
Yeah, they get the ball to start, and you figure if they go up 3 scores, I mean, that's what Clearwater Valley lost by last week, was 3 scores. It's just so hard to overcome in 8-man football. I don't know. It's going to be tough for sure,
especially with an offense like Logos. Well, Simeon, you've been our eye through the camera. What are some of the trends and things you've seen thus far?
Well, really, I mean, it's been a lot of Jack Driscoll looking for people in the corner, but if not, then he's been able to run it pretty well this game so far. And yeah, we've seen him a couple times, like when they were back on the 1-yard line early on. He was able to break out a 30-yard run to get him out of there, and then find a couple receivers later on in the end zone, Lucius and Ryan. Those guys are doing a great job. Clearwater Valley, I'm sure, is hoping to have their own responses too. So.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Brandon.
I was going to say Driscoll, a true dual threat quarterback, and we saw it in spades there in the first half of action. Before we start the second half, we'll thank a couple more of our sponsors here. Strom Electric, they've been serving the Palouse and Camas Prairie regions since 1938. None of us were even close to being alive in 1938. We're all young bucks here, right? Right, Simeon?
I mean, I don't know, man. I might be.
Speak for yourself, Brandon.
1938. They've been providing electrical wiring for all sizes of projects and well pump installations. Strom Electric is licensed and insured in Washington and Idaho. When it's time to renovate your home, business, or to install a well water pump system, call them at 208-835-2331. Strom Electric, strong supporters of local high school sports. Also, Moscow Family Dentistry, where Dr. Bowen just wants to see you smile. Proud to support the Logos Knights. That's Moscow Family Dentistry.
And folks, Dr. Bowen, also an assistant coach for the Logos girls team, where his daughter Emily, one of the post players for the Knights. So proud supporter of the Knights, as you mentioned, Brandon. And we've got some action ahead of us as the Rams are set to kick things off, and the Knights hoping to add to their lead. As back deep to receive, we've got a couple of Knights, and it's a squib kick, so it's actually going to get to them. And that is Comas who has the return there. And the ball is taken away from him. Number 24 for the Rams, that is Jake Fabi. Takes the ball away from him and scores. Unbelievable turn of events here, and the Rams really needed that one.
It's not often I'm at a loss of words, Garrison, but I've never seen that happen before. A squib kick. Comas has to pick it up off the ground, and he struggled getting that ball up off the grass. And then Fabi just rips it away and says, I'm taking this, see ya. And on the turn of a dime, this game is swung.
Talk about the presence of mind from Fabi to just grab the ball away from the Logos Knight and then run it back for 6. Talk about something that they wanted to avoid was that 3-score deficit, and they did just that. So now the Rams hoping to add 2 to their total and cut the lead down to 6. I formation look here. One wide receiver to the near side. Schleeper, he's going to roll to his left. Good containment from the Knights, and it looks like they may have gotten the stop there. We'll see.
And so I think, Garrison, they ruled that Fabi did not cross the plane of the end zone. Hard for us to see. We got the student section right here in front of us. This wall of Logos students obscuring our view. But you're talking about now 2nd and goal from roughly the 4-yard line. I mean, this is a big opportunity here for Clearwater Valley.
Yeah, my apologies to the folks at home here, but now the Rams are looking at 2nd and goal. I formation look once again. Schleeper's going to pitch this one to Bass Myers. The big running back out of the backfield thunders his way forward. And a solid pickup there. And that'll bring up 3rd and goal.
And yet we've seen this a couple of times tonight, Garrison, where, you know, when it gets to these 3rd and short, 4th and short situations, Clearwater Valley just hasn't been able to get the yards that they need. That's a credit to the Logos defense.
That's right, a big opportunity here for the Knights to bow up and get a big stop and keep the score 20-6. 3rd and goal, 4-down territory, I formation look. The Knights are packed in at the box. Another pitch play to Myers. And this time he strolls into the end zone for a touchdown, and a big play there for the Rams as they cut into that deficit.
They needed that in a big way. Bass Myers on the touchdown run. I'll tell you something else I noticed on that drive, Garrison, is that Clearwater Valley appears to have made a quarterback switch. Carson Schilling, number 3, was taking the snaps there at QB. Schleeper, who had played the first half, he has moved now to more of a tight end position. We'll see if that continues into the second half. Schilling was the guy we thought was going to be the quarterback at the start of the season.
And he certainly looks comfortable under center here as Schilling. Again, it's a little pitch play there into the backfield. And I believe that was Schleeper, was it not?
I think they pitched that to Pickering one. But it was an odd pitch, and Pickering had to play hot potato with it. Because of that, Logos is able to get the stop there. And we talked about these 2-point conversions tonight as well. And now, well, It looks like he did cross the plane and get it. I'll tell you, I don't know how you're doing it. It's hard to see what's going on that end of the field.
Well, I'm just fortunate. Simeon is giving me an eye into the action from here. As, again, for the folks at home, we got a wall of rowdy students to our right, which is great. You love the school spirit that they're showing, and it's just nice to see that this is a packed grandstand here. The Logos community really out in full support.
Yeah, I think if it gets any closer to the action, Simeon, I'm going to do the Simba lift. I'm going to just lift you in the air like Simba from the Lion King, and you can really...
Oh, boy.
You didn't know what you signed up for at IdahoSports.com. The Circle of Life, brought to you by Idaho Sports. And now the Rams, after that huge play here, are set to kick things off. That's number 42, Lincoln Barger, the sophomore, wide receiver and defensive end and kicker, set to kick things off. Are we going to see a repeat strip from the Rams? Fabi would like to think so. And Comas would like to forget. 10:18 to go here in the third quarter. And a onside kick, as it were, and it bounces right into the hands of number 12, Ryan Daniels, and he's able to fall on that, and the Knights will take over.
So we talked about last week against Notice. Notice converted 2 onside kicks in a row in the first half against Clearwater Valley. Coach Hutchins, he's a smart guy. He said, hey, maybe I'll save that for Logos and see if it works out. Not a bad idea.
And it was close that time. So 20-14 here after the score. 10:18 to go, and the Knights take over. Ball spotted at the 47-yard line. Driscoll, some motion for the Knights here on the near side. That's Sunley. And they're going to hand it to him. Sunley trying to find a sweep on the far side. Looks like he's got a block. He's got the edge, and he's pushed out of bounds past the first down sticks.
And again, it's a little deceptive. Suddenly, because he wears the number 55, you're like, oh, this big lineman's running the ball. But he's more like a running back, fullback type, and was able to beat Trevor Altman to the corner that time and nearly pick up the first down.
And it looks like we just got a cramp on the far side of the field as they're straightening out the leg of, that's number 52. That's Ben Carlson. Been hustling all over the field. It's no wonder.
Yeah, he's a big part of what they want to do, both offensively and defensively tonight. He's been sticking his nose in there.
And good sportsmanship there from the Rams as well, helping him get to his feet and whatnot. And it doesn't look like Sunley got the first down on that run. It's 2nd and 1, we'll call it. Ball spotted at the 44-yard line. And looks like Sunley's doing A-OK. He's just jogged off the field there. So again, that same formation that we've seen all night from the Knights. 4 wide receivers in the set. Driscoll alone in the backfield. And again, some adjustments here from the Knights. Motion, that is from Porras. And Driscoll's going to keep it himself right up the middle. He's got an alley, he's got a block, and he's getting to the outside. Cuts it back infield, and then back outside again. And Driscoll is driven out of bounds. My goodness, he can do it all.
Driscoll dancing with the stars. The footwork, just really impressive.
Now, what would we call that? Is that the rumba? Is that the salsa?
The paso doble.
There we go. Checking in for the Knights, that's number 8, Paul Greaser.
But that's the thing with Logos is, what do you stop? You've got Sunley on the sweep. You've got Driscoll up the middle. And just when you think you've got that figured out, here comes Porras with a grab. I mean, there's just no shortage of tools in the toolbox.
20-14 now after that first down run from Driscoll. Knights find themselves at the 30-yard line as this one is a high throw, too high that one. The intended target was Lucius Comas, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 10.
And again, you'll just have to take our word on that.
Right.
You know, it's a good thing we've got such a seasoned play-by-play broadcaster like you, Garrison, to really paint that picture.
Well, thank you, sir. It's nice to have a seasoned color guy, as it were. And then a bright and shiny new cameraman who's doing a great job over there for his first time. Well, we had issues at the Kendrick game, but we made do and has done a great job thus far. A good crew here tonight as Driscoll back to pass, looking, throws it near side, And pass is complete. It's going to be a solid pickup there. And that was by the guy who just checked in, number 8, Paul Greaser.
Yeah, great Greaser, a senior. His younger brother, Asif, a sophomore.
Looks like a pickup of 5 there for Greaser. And there was a flag on the play. Just saw that as the ref has picked it up. And it looks like it's against the Knights as it is moving back pretty significantly here. So it could have been holding or something of that nature as we're now looking at second and what appears to be 20.
Yeah, anytime it's weird yardage, I just assume it's holding, right? Oh, second and 19, yeah.
So second and 19 and some change. Driscoll in the gun. And we've got my Pastor Toby Sumter in front of the camera there.
I assume he's talking to his son. He's got Sumter on the back of his hoodie.
That's correct. They fake it to Greaser, and Driscoll runs it up the middle for a solid gain there. And that was much needed after the penalty. They're back within striking distance coming up on third down.
I mean, think about that. From that holding penalty, and Driscoll had a pretty significant run there, and yet it's still like 3rd down and 8 because they were backed up so far.
That's one thing we've noticed for both of these teams thus far is they have a mistake or a penalty that'll drive them back, but the ability to just get big chunks back. Both teams have shown that thus far. Driscoll in the gun, motion from both teams as the Rams are adjusting. Driscoll looks to the near side. It's over the top, and some miscommunication there as Greaser stopped his route, and it looked like he had his defender beat, so that could have been a big play. And Driscoll showing off his arm strength there.
Yeah, Driscoll sending that one into the night. And yeah, you're right. Tiago Pickering's a pretty fast guy for Clearwater Valley, but Greaser had a step on him. And that's one of those things with more reps, more comfortableness. Greaser will adjust there. 4th down now, though.
4th and about 8. So could be a big stop here for the Rams. They've already scored this half thus far, and they'd like to keep the Knights out of it. Driscoll looking, throws a post route over the middle, and it's just out of reach for Lucius Comas. The Rams get a big stop.
That was tight coverage by Trevor Altman that time, and not a bad idea by Driscoll because of the tight coverage. He had to throw it high and away where only his guy could get it just a little too high. And you said it, Garrison, that is the stop that Clearwater Valley needed, and now all of a sudden they get the ball back here. 8:38 to play in the 3rd, only down 6.
We could be looking at a tie game if they're able to drive it the length of the field here. It's going to be 1st and 10, and they're going to be totally comfortable just running the ball and controlling the clock tempo. So the ball's going to be spotted close to the 25-yard line.
It does look like Schilling's going to continue to quarterback the Rams offense here too.
So for the fans just joining us, Schleeper was the quarterback for half number 1, but he's such an athlete that he can go anywhere, so Schilling is now under center. Schilling fakes the handoff. He's going to roll to his left. Looking downfield, fires a bullet over the top. It's incomplete. The intended target was Trevor Altman. We just called his name earlier.
And I'd be curious to ask Alan Hutchins, the Clearwater Valley coach, after the game. I think maybe the switch has occurred, not because he thinks, Schleeper couldn't do the job at quarterback, but I think he's been having Schleeper line up at tight end, basically as a 4th blocker. And I'm wondering if he's like, Logos has been eating our lunch on the pass rush, and right now we need protection. And Schilling can deliver us some passes if we give him enough time.
So 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Logos Knights are showing 3 down linemen, 3 backers over the top, and then 2 safeties over that. And it looks like it's going to be a pitch play, kind of an awkward pitch there. And Bass Myers not able to do anything with it. He is dragged down by a swarm of Knights. They invaded the castle there.
I was trying to think of a fishing pun, but I couldn't.
So I went with the Knights.
Yeah, I got nothing. Storm the castle, though. I like that.
Exactly. There we go. So a huge loss there. We're now looking at well past 3rd and 20.
And I really do think, on that play, Schleeper was out as a wide receiver, not in on the line. And what did Logos do? They ran right into the backfield. So now in a 3rd and long situation, Schleeper back in at quarterback because they know he's got the arm to throw it downfield.
And Carson Schilling, the farthest wide receiver on your screen. 2 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. Schleeper looking, And he throws a short pass over the middle. It's tipped and caught. And that's Bass Myers. Unbelievable. He's got the first down. Tip drill, and the offense wins out.
Hey, sometimes in football you need a little luck. I mean, that ball was thrown right into the hands of, I believe that was, let me double check the number here. That was Jonathan Morrill. Went right off his chest plate, popped straight up into the air, into Bass Myers' hands, and CB will take it.
Unbelievable. That is, how can you not be romantic about football after seeing stuff like that? My goodness. 1st and 10, a fresh set of downs. Huge third down conversion there for the Rams. 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side for Schleiper. He's pressured heavily. A post route over the top. That one was nearly intercepted. That was number 22, Max Hawthorne, who had the best chance at that one.
Yeah, Logos brought the blitz that time. CB had 3 blockers. Logos sent 4, which is always a gamble, but rushed the throw there. Guy was open, but because he had to rush it, threw it a little high.
So it's going to be 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. 7:31 to go here in quarter number 3. 20-14 in favor of the Knights, and what's turned into a defensive slugfest. After both teams put up huge numbers on offense last week, 58 and 56 respectively. 2 deep safeties over the top for the Knights. Man-to-man coverage on the outside as Schleiper backs a pass, fakes the handoff, throws it over the middle. That's number 2, Altman. We've called his name numerous times. He's near the first down sticks.
Yeah, he's going to be about a yard shy. He saw the defender closing in, thought he would run around him, and now they say on second blush there, respotting of the ball, it isn't up for the first down, but boy, smoke coming off the ball that time from Schleiper.
And it looks as though Schleiper has his confidence back after taking a brief respite from quarterback, and he is throwing the ball around with authority. Even if a little luck is involved on that 1 third down play, he'll take it.
And speaking of luck, Andrew Luck, the former NFL quarterback, he always said this too. He said, I got to have a couple of rushing plays early on where I just got to run into some guys to get a rhythm. And maybe that's what Landon Schleiper needs. Just crash into a few guys at tight end and then take over.
And the nicest guy in the NFL after getting hit too. So maybe Schleiper's the same way. Schleiper under center. They fake the run there. A post route going deep. No options closer, so he's just going to tuck it and run. And a late hit out of bounds, unfortunately. And flags come flying.
Yep, that one pretty obvious.
So, and Coach Holloway has obviously coached discipline and whatnot, so they'll be disappointed to see that. But sometimes, that just happens when you're trying to corral them inbounds.
Yeah, that was Ben Carlson with the late hit out of bounds there, and I think he was slowing up, but he leaned that shoulder just a little bit, and that you're going to get that 9 times out of 10. So that's 15 yards in penalty too.
And folks, if you just look straight away on the camera, you'll see the moon just cresting over the hill on the far side. What a beautiful shot. Again, some of the most beautiful scenery here at Logos' field in Moscow, Idaho. They set up for the future correctly on this one.
Come on, D!
So 1st and 10 now after the penalty, a 15-yard penalty for late hit out of bounds. Schleiper keeps it himself off the fake. Good contain there from Jonathan Morrill, but a stiff arm from Schleiper, and he steps out of bounds past the first down marker. Schleiper again showing his athleticism.
Oh, I love that play call there from head coach Alan Hutchins. The naked bootleg. Everybody crashing to the right. Bass Myers drew the attention, and Schleiper had nothing but green grass in front of him. And Alan Hutchins, a former QB himself, knows if you can get that naked bootleg down, it can be a damage dealer.
And now the fans here on the home side sense the momentum is changing, so they're trying to fire up the Knights defense. 6:18 and counting. 1st and 10 as the Rams approach the red zone. Pressure being shown from the Knights. Shotgun set, high snap. Schleiper looking. It's a little screen dump here to Myers as he cuts in field. And he is tripped up and brought down from behind, but still a good game there for Bass Myers.
Yeah, close to the first down marker, maybe even gotten enough. Yeah, they'll move the chain. Should set up 1st and goal here from about the 9. And hey, you talked about the fans getting fired up here. The non-conference games last week were fine. Logos going to Lakeside and Clearwater Valley hosting notice, but this is White Pine football. The fans get up for it, and this is what I've been waiting for.
Absolutely.
Oh,
and we've got a flag here.
Illegal substitution against Logos.
So the penalties adding up a little bit here for Logos on this drive. They had the unfortunate late hit out of bounds. That was a 15-yard penalty, and now we've got an illegal substitution as well. And so that's going to get the Rams closer to the goal line in what could be a crucial red zone stand here. And folks at home, we're going to do our best to bring you the action, but we've got some excited students in front of us here. I formation look. Sleeper under center. Loud crowd environment here as well. They pitch it. It's going to the right side. Your guess is as good as mine. And judging by the crowd's reaction, they kept him out of the end zone.
Yeah, they tossed it to Bass Myers off the right side that time. And
trying to get some assistance here from some of the students just so we can see the action. It's hard though. I don't want to ruin their good time, but
right, we're guests here. They're here every Friday.
So I formation look. They're going to go to the far side this time. Pickering cuts inside, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown Rams. The Rams have tied the game.
I'm just glad they ran to the opposite side.
We could see what happened on camera, and that's what matters, folks.
And that was Pickering, right?
That was Pickering, number one, punching it in. So a good pitch to the weak side there. Caught Logos sleeping, and that's 6. So with 4:59 in the third quarter, it's a tie game.
The Rams on the verge of taking their first lead of the night here at 4:59 of the third quarter.
So a potentially big stop here. The Knights packed in on the line. I formation look once again. Sleeper back to pass. Rolling to the right side. Looking. And we lost it. But judging again by the crowd's reaction, that's an incomplete pass. So, hey, they stopped them.
The aggressive Logos defense stopped, leaving the game tie. 2 touchdowns from Clearwater here in the beginning of the third quarter.
But since the beginning of the the second half, the Rams with 2 quick scores, and suddenly it's a tie ball game. And my goodness, Simeon, go ahead and pan over to where that moon is and get a nice zoom in on it so the people at home understand what we're looking at. How picturesque is that? Okay, well, it looks like a big flashlight on your screen at home,
Yeah.
but from where we're sitting, it's great. So maybe you guys should just come out to the game.
Not quite a full moon, right? Pretty much 95% of the way there, but I'll tell you, this moon kind of rose up on the horizon and weird stuff started happening here. Jake Fabbie just ripped that ball away on the kickoff return. Clearwater Valley, almost like the moon rising, has also risen its play.
Hey, you know what? Werewolves? More like were-rams. No? Okay, all right. I'll stick to my job as a commentator, not a
have to work on
comedian.
those.
You know what? Be quiet over there, Simeon. No.
No such thing as a bad idea, but...
Oh, goodness. Well, it's 20-20, tie ball game. You got to love it. It's Friday Night Lights. It's just good to have football back here in the Palouse. And it's game night in North Idaho. We're blessed to have Brandon Bainey with us, the editor-in-chief, as it were, for Idaho Sports.
I could have gone to any game tonight, Garrison, and I said this one right here is going to be the best game of the night, and it has lived up to the billing.
Right there with you. And so here we are looking for a kick. We could see a potential onside kick here. We've seen that in pass from the Rams, but no, they're going to send it deep. They send it right towards, I believe that was Comas, or excuse me, that was Sunley, who had to go down to his knee to pick that ball up. So it's dead where he caught it.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple of times tonight with the Logos where they've gone to the knee and then they're like, okay, I got to keep going, right? And it's like, no,
you know,
sorry.
And so we've talked about the Packers before the game started. And, you know, the Logos, again, a program that really it's a brand new football program. And a lot of these kids had never even seen a football game. So, you know, the rules still coming along a little bit in this program. But again, big improvement thus far.
Any coach will tell you, as long as I got athletes, I can
Right.
teach him the game.
That's right. This is a football. So Driscoll, once again in the backfield by himself. He's got 2 hatchbacks with him. Man-to-man coverage on the outside. Motion from the far side of the field. Driscoll, he's going to fake the handoff, keeps it himself. He runs into a host of Rams, and he's brought down after a short gain. Rams pretty fired up about that defensive play.
Yeah, that was Leighton Davis, the junior defensive end. And that's a guy that Coach Hutchins was pretty high on this year. He's going to be a 2-way lineman. He said he started for us last year as a sophomore a little bit, and he's really kind of the key of our offensive and defensive lines.
So it's going to be 2nd and 6 after a pickup of 4 from Driscoll. 2, count them, 3 down linemen for the Rams. Man-to-man coverage on the outside, motion from the far side of your screen. Driscoll fakes the keeper, throws a post route to Jonathan Morrill, and it's caught for the first down.
Yeah, Driscoll did the old Tim Tebow there. Faked like he was going to run the ball, then did the little jump pass, kind of threw it off his back leg there, and nice play call there from the Logos coaching staff.
And by the way, if you're looking for something to watch on this Friday night later, I highly recommend Swamp Stories on Netflix, as it, hey, Tim Tebow, you brought him up, did details the Florida Gators in their time under Urban Meyer. But back to the game at hand. 1st and 10, fresh set of downs after the nice play from the Knights there. Again, motion from, we'll call it Davis on the far side. Driscoll keeps it himself, runs to the left, and is hammered. The Rams came bulldozing towards him and brought him down hard. And there's got to be a balance there. You love seeing a running quarterback, but at the same time, that's some valuable merchandise there.
Well, and then they ask him to play on defense too, right? He plays in the secondary, and so in 8-man football, when you've got a dynamic athlete like that, it is kind of a valuable commodity, and you want to protect that asset as much as you can.
So 2nd and 9 now. Driscoll, once again, alone in the backfield. 2 bunched wide receivers on either side for 4 total. Man-to-man coverage on the outside. We're likely going to see motion from the near side, that is. They're keeping me on my toes. Suddenly, and he takes the handoff. It's a sweep to the far side. Does he got the edge? He does. He's got it, and then some. Suddenly, brought down from behind near the 30-yard line. What a carry and run there from Suddenly.
Touchdown saving tackle from Lincoln Barger on the back end, but boy, suddenly turns the corner. And again, we talked about it. A little deceptive because he wears a number in the 50s, but dude's got pretty good speed on the perimeter.
He may not have that side-to-side quickness, but when he gets going in one direction, look out. And he almost took it to the house there. 2:47 to go, 20-20. Big first down run there from the Knights, and they are marching once again. Suddenly, once again, comes to the near side. He's lined up next to Lucian Comas, that is. Oh, I was right, Lucius Comas. Suddenly, again in motion. And they got a little excited on the far side as there's a false start, and that's going to back him up 5 yards.
And suddenly, after ripping off that 30-yard run, probably a little gas. And he's like, you want me to do what? You want me to go in motion again? Even though I'm not getting the ball?
Right.
But that's the dedication to the system.
So 1st and 15 after the 5-yard penalty there, but that's nothing that the Knights can't pick up quickly.
I think they do better in these longer yardage situations, honestly.
You know what? Give us more penalties. No. Motion from Comas on the far side. Driscoll goes right back to the original line of scrimmage and then some. And that's going to bring up what looks to be about 2nd and 7.
Yeah, no matter what transpires here over the final 2:30 of the third quarter and then the fourth, I think both coaches will tell you defensively tonight, proud of the effort that our teams gave. This has been a phenomenal defensive affair.
Oh, absolutely. You look at the defense from Clearwater Valley last week, giving up 72 points. This has got to feel good, especially against a talented offense like Logos. So a lot of movement here from the Knights now, and they go to almost a 5-dice formation here as Driscoll takes the snap and hands it off, fakes the handoff to Morrill, and they go the pitch here. And this one is to Carlson. who almost had the first down, but a good tackle there. I believe that was by number 1, Pickering.
Yeah, Pickering coming up to make the tackle, and they did get just enough to move the chains here. That was another good play. You know, we're starting to see some unique plays being called for the first time tonight by this Logos coaching staff, and they're picking up big yardage on them.
So it's 1st and 10 now. Fresh set of downs. The Knights have an excellent drive going for them right now. You kind of see the Rams looking a little fatigued on the defensive end. Motion from Porras. Driscoll cuts inside. And a big hit delivered there once again. That was just a lot of contact. That was number 56 from the Rams, the big old Leighton Davis.
He ran into Leighton Davis and bounced backwards. That doesn't happen a lot.
That's a whole lot of humanity over there.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have the heights and weights listed on the roster, but, I mean, you're talking about 6'2", 260, solid muscle.
And he's right next to Raphael Kessler, who's also a big mound. 2nd and 6 after the run from Driscoll. Back to pass, rolling away from the pressure, fires it to the far side. That one's caught by Carlson. Dodges a would-be tackler, and he's brought down, and he's past the first down sticks inside the 20-yard line.
Driscoll says, all right, Leighton Davis, you want to shut me down in the run? I'm going to pick on you in pass coverage, and dumped it right over the top of Davis there for the first down. He's done that a couple of times tonight. He has good sight downfield to see over taller defenders.
And what a well-balanced drive thus far. A lot of run mixed in with a lot of pass. It seems as though the Rams just are off balance currently. Again, fresh set of downs. 1st and 10, ball at the 20. Red zone opportunity for the Knights. Motion from Sunley. And they're going to hand this one off up the middle. Or excuse me, that was a quarterback keeper. That was Driscoll who kept it himself. A solid gain of 5. And when you can consistently pick that up just by doing the quarterback keeper, it's hard to say no.
And that'll take us to the end of the 3rd, which means we'll flip back to the end where we can't see things so well.
That's
right in time for Logos to potentially punch it in.
That's right. So, folks, after 3, 20-20, we have a tie ball game here in Moscow, Idaho. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back after this message.
Dear road rivals, you may have 4 wheels and a similar build, but our resemblance ends right there. Later, Toyota.
Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Moscow, Idaho, and you have got a barn burner on your hands. Logos 20, Clearwater Valley 20. And before we get back to the action, Brandon, we got some sponsors to thank.
Yeah, let's thank the professional sales staff at Perfection Tire and Cami, eagerly waiting to provide you with incredible service and the latest automotive products available. Perfection Tire can take care of all your tire needs and more, including brakes, shocks, struts, tune-ups, oil changes, alignments, and more. If nothing's wrong with your car or truck now, just wait. Bring it in and we'll help you keep it that way with their 30, 60, 90 preventative maintenance program. Stop in and see Dallas or Jerry at Perfection Tire and Cami, 107 East 3rd Street. You can also give them a call at 208-935-2999 or go online at perfectiontire.com. Perfection Tire proudly supports Ram Athletics. And Moscow Family Dentistry, where Dr. Bowen just wants to see you smile. Proud to support the Logos Knights.
All right, so it is now it's 3rd and 5 here. The Knights with an opportunity to take the lead, and they actually fixed it to 2nd and 5 here, which gives the Knights some more flexibility. Ball is on the 15-yard line, and the students in front of us have very graciously moved to the side. Very kind of them. Just what you'd expect out of Logos. And there's a fumble! And Logos was able to get back on it. Quick thinking there from Jack Driscoll.
Yeah, that ball came out right at the start as they were handing off, and Driscoll, right place, right time, falls right back on top of it. Ben Carlson comes up a little gimpy after the play, but boy, Logos has had a couple of those tonight that they've been able to fall back on top of.
The Rams defense, such a great improvement from last week where they gave up 72 points, holding a talented Logos offense to 20 thus far.
And 0 in the second half.
3rd and 2. Motion from the far side. Driscoll keeps it himself, runs it up inside into a whole mass of humanity. He disappears, but it looks like he's got a first down, and he does.
Yeah, that'll set up 1st and goal now for the Knights, and ball's going to be right around the 6, it looks like.
So it's going to be first, that's going to set up 1st and goal. So 4 down territory for the Knights. 6 yards separating them from the lead. Driscoll alone in the backfield. Again, very tight wide receiver sets on either side. 4 total, man-to-man coverage on the outside. A blitz from the far side, and the play is blown dead, and we'll see what the call is. It could have been encroachment, but then again, it could have been movement on offense.
Yeah, it came from the side, Judge, and it is encroachment. Good call there, Garrison.
Oh, the blitz from the outside linebacker, he looked like he was anticipating that and just a little too excited on that one.
And if I'm Clearwater Valley, I'm okay with that. It's half the distance to the goal now, so you're going to put it around the 3. But Logos has struggled with everything's bunched in tight. They do better when they've got room to operate.
Yeah, again, kind of a opposite offenses here. Clearwater Valley loves to have the power run. Logos, a little bit more finesse, but we'll see if they can power it home here. Driscoll in the gun, takes the snap, tries to run it inside, but he's met with the Rams front 3. What a stop there, and that was Raphael, the big old 68, Raphael Kessler, the junior.
Yeah, Kessler stood him up, and then the madman Jake Fabi finished him off. And yeah, I'm telling you, Clearwater Valley does better when things are kind of bunched in tight here.
Could you argue this is a must score for the Knights?
Definitely for momentum's sake.
Driscoll once again in the gun. Movement from the defense of the Rams as they are expecting a run. It's going to be a student body right. Driscoll tries to find it.
Didn't get there.
And the Rams are pumped up on the far sideline. So no touchdown there.
In fact, he lost 2 yards. You're talking 3rd and goal now from, I mean, they're going to put it back to the 9. He lost almost 4 yards on that sweep play, Garrison. So, but now Logos says, okay, we got a little breathing room.
And we wanted that to happen, thanks.
Yeah.
So 9:29 and counting. The Rams bench players are stoked on the sideline over on the far side. They sense the momentum changing. Driscoll in the gun.
Find the end zone, let's go Knights!
Motion from the far side. Driscoll looking. It's a post right across the middle. Touchdown Knights! Paul Greaser punches it into the end zone.
Breaks the tackle, punches it in the end zone.
The only reason Paul Greaser is in the game right now is because we talked about it. Ben Carlson came off a little gimpy 3 or 4 plays prior. So Greaser comes in, and what do? You make the most of your opportunities. Little slant route across the middle and right on the money to Greaser. That was a huge touchdown throw and catch.
26-20, a must-need score if there was one. And Logos trying to add the 2-point conversion here. This could be big as well. The 5 dice formation here. Driscoll, he's got some extra blockers now, throws an out route, and that's batted away. What a play from Tiago Pickering.
Pickering is he's very sneaky, sir. He's very good at sneaking up on you. Great job there. Yeah, I don't know, the way this game's going, we're locked into a score-for-score battle here. These 2-point conversions could loom large.
Simeon, you talked about this at one point, that it seemed like the team who had the ball last was going to come away the victor. So do you see a 9-minute drive out of the Rams here?
Not really in an 8-man game. I mean, not by the way this game is going. But, hey, who knows? Who knows? They might be able to control it really well and pull off a touchdown and 2.
So that he just brought up the 2 there. Logos unable to punch in that 2-point conversion. So the score remains 26-20. if Clearwater Valley goes down and scores. They've had trouble on 2-point conversions because Logos' defense has bowed up inside the 5. Are we going to see something similar here? Well, you're just going to have to stay here and watch on IdahoSports.com. And we're glad to have you here. Folks, by the way, always entertaining and occasionally controversial, the IdahoSports.com Prepcasts cover every inch of Idaho, hosted by Brandon Bainey. Hey, he's here to my left. Each Prepcast features one of our in-house experts talking about what's going on in your part of the state. Well, just to go to IdahoSports.com and click Prepcasts in the menu to get caught up on what you've been missing. The Knights are ready to kick. The student section over here is getting rowdy. That's number 44, Gunnar Holloway, set to kick. The coach's son, no pressure. And Holloway pooches this one to the second level. That's taken at the 32, and a big hit! My goodness, Jonathan Morrow brought the hammer down, and with that momentum shift, the Rams take over.
The defensive theme persists throughout this ball game. That was a huge hit.
9:02 remaining. First and 10 as the Rams will start this drive at the 30-yard line. So good defensive field position here for the Knights as they've got plenty of green in front of them. And now the Rams plenty of clock to get rid of as they bring their running offense onto the field. In the gun is Schleeper. And Schleeper taking his quarterback duties back. He's got Bass Myers right next to him, the big running back. Schleeper, 3-step drop. He's going to tuck it and run. He's got blockers in front of him. That's Pickering out in front. Good pursuit there from the Knights, and he's brought down out of bounds. That could have almost been a late hit out of bounds.
Yeah, I think Jonathan Morrill was the pursuer there, and he kind of held his hands up at the end, and I think that's what saved him from the flag there. But very interestingly, Logos only rushed 2 players that time, and so Schleeper said, okay.
I guess I'll go.
I'll take off and run with it, and despite that, the second level, Morrill especially, didn't allow him to get the first down. It's 2nd and inches.
So we'll call it 2nd and 1. Ball is spotted at the 35-yard line. It's going to be on the left hash, the near side hash. 3 linemen for the Rams, 2 down linemen for the Knights with 3 linebackers over the top, and we've got a official timeout here. Looks like they're just making sure they've got the spot correct, confirming with one another. They're going to call it a first down.
I was going to say, maybe they're going to call for the measurement. I haven't seen that yet this year. You know, the chain gang's got to stay warm, hustle out there, measure.
But hey, this officiating crew's done a great job keeping the ball moving, keeping the game moving, and quick decision there, and we're off to the races. Schleeper back to pass. He's going to have to step up, and there's a holding call there. And Schleeper takes a hit for good measure as he's brought down. Big hit from that second level. 10-yard penalty, though, and that's going to hurt.
Yeah, that's a big one on Leighton Davis, and that was going to be, I mean, the flag came out around the 33, so you're talking about marking it back inside the 30 to the 29. This is essentially 2nd and 20, or 1st and 20.
Yep, football is back at the 30 where the Rams actually started this drive, so back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and 8:45 to go, Garrison. This game is starting to grow late.
It is, and there's a chill in the air now. It's down towards the 60s, and I'm wishing I brought a hoodie. And the ball is snapped nearly over Schleeper's head. Good thing he's got that 6'4" frame. It's batted down, and incomplete. Lucius Comas with the defense there.
Good thing Comas came up with the bat down because there was an open man, Pickering, about 5 yards away, and he had nothing but green grass in front of him. So Comas getting the big bear paws out and swatting it away.
That's going to bring up 2nd and 20. So if you're the Rams here, you don't have to get all the yards back on this play, but you would like to make it 3rd and manageable.
Yeah, I mean, this is obvious, you know, 3-down territory here, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th down. So you don't got to get all 20 yards here, but you got to get something. Which is what you were going to say before I cut you off.
Nope. Great minds think alike here on IdahoSports.com. So ball again at the 30. The Knights showing a little bit more pressure this time. 3 down linemen as we've got an I formation and we've got a timeout. So you know what that means. It's a great time to read some ads. So stick here with us as I pull this up here. Trust me, folks, they're coming.
Yeah, we'll thank Strom Electric. They've been serving the Palouse and Camas Prairie region since 1938, providing electrical wiring for all sizes of projects and well pump installations. Strom Electric is licensed and insured in Washington and Idaho. When it's time to renovate your home, business, or to install a well water pump system, call them at 208-835-2331. Strom Electric, strong supporters of local high school sports. And I'll let you do Simmons Sanitation because I know it's your favorite.
I just wanted to say, I wanted to read that one. All of us at Simmons Sanitation wish the Clearwater Valley Rams good luck tonight. Call us at 208-935-2617 for all your solid waste needs. Remember, we are the only ones that talk trash. There we go. Simmons Sanitation is a proud supporter of high school sports in northern Idaho. You know, Simmons, I don't need any of your services, but I just want to call just to hear you guys talk trash.
I'll tell you, Simmons Sanitation, they're one of our OG sponsors. They have been here since the start. Very glad to have them.
Well, their Rams could use their support right now as it is 8:39 to go here in the fourth quarter, and they're looking at a 2nd and 20. Schleeper takes the snap. He's looking for Pickering deep downfield into a host of Knights, and it's intercepted. Jack Driscoll, quarterback to quarterback. There's something to be said for a quarterback reading another quarterback's eyes.
Yeah, and that's one where Schleeper forced it into triple coverage. Could have gone underneath to another receiver, but that's what we talked about. When it's 2nd and 20, the temptation was there to go, watch this, I'll get 30. But you could have taken something shorter. Instead, Schleeper gambles, triple coverage, picked off by Driscoll.
And folks, you see our camera shaking. That's not an earthquake, that's the student section. They're fired up after that interception. 1st and 10, and Driscoll has got command of the offense. Ball at the 49-yard line in Rams territory. And they fake it to Sunley. Driscoll keeps it himself, and he's met immediately. What a response there from the Rams defense.
Yeah, right in the middle of a Rams sandwich. That's Leighton Davis on one end, and then the other slice of bread was Josh Gardner.
And Driscoll saying, you know what, I don't like that flavor.
Yeah.
So 2nd and 9, a very short gain there. And that's what the Rams needed if they want a shot in this game. They've got to get the stop here. Driscoll once again in the gun. 2 wide receiver sets on either side. 3 down linemen for the Rams. Motion from the near side. That's going to be Comas running from right to left. And they're going to hand it to Comas. He's trying to get it to the outside. Good containment, however, from the Rams, and it's going to be 3rd and about 7 or 8.
Yeah, Pickering and Gardner, again, back-to-back plays there for Gardner for Clearwater Valley. And last week, you know, you talked to the Rams coaches after they lost 72-54 to Notice. They gave up a lot of big runs to the outside. And talking to the coaching staff, they thought it was an alignment issue. They said, if we just get our guys in the right positions to make plays, we feel pretty good about stopping the run, and I think we've seen that tonight.
So now 7-10 and counting. Here in the fourth quarter, 26-20. It's going to be motion from the far side now, if there is any. Driscoll back to pass, looks to the far side, and it's a hook route. That one's caught by Porras.
Yeah, Porras left all alone. Pickering tried to close late, and you could see Pickering and Bass Myers kind of pointing at one another like, dude, I thought you had him. No, I thought you had him. But that was a great find by Driscoll there on the little button hook route.
1st and 10. Driscoll has kept it clean thus far tonight as far as the interceptions. He almost had one, but his knee saved him.
And we're down to 6:45 to play. You know, if Logos takes some time off the clock and cashes in to go up 2 scores, tall order for Clearwater Valley.
So 1st and 10. The Rams, as Brandon mentioned, needing a stop. This could be motion from the near side. They wave it off. Driscoll runs up the middle, nearly brought down by the first tackler, but he pushes through, makes it to the second level before being finally brought down.
Yeah, Kessler nearly got him, but Driscoll, the elusive one, slipped away. Got 5 yards, good run.
And the clock continues to tick. Clock is now the Knights' ally, and the Rams want to hang on to as much time as possible. 3 down linemen for the Rams, 2 backers over the top, man-to-man coverage on the outside. It's a 2-on-1 on the near side, something the Knights could take advantage of with a quick throw. And we're going to see motion here from Sunley. Sunley goes out for a pass. Driscoll had to pick that ball off the turf, and it's incomplete. Honestly, probably just smart to get rid of it there as he had defenders bearing down on him.
Yeah, Kessler applying the pass rush that time, and you saw there Logos ran that clock all the way down to 1 on the play clock, trying to take as much time off as they can. We're at 5:35 to play now. And I looked over at Simeon, and you're rubbing your hands together now. Is that because you're cold or because you're anticipating what this third down play could bring?
Maybe a little bit of both here.
Good answer.
Yeah, for the folks at home, the weather was beautiful to start things out. It still is, but it's just a little chillier out. It's a balmy, maybe 60 at this point in time. 3rd and 4. Driscoll throws it to the near side. That one's caught by Davis. We called his name earlier. He's got the sideline. He could go all the way. And is that a touchdown? That is a touchdown. The Knights add 6 to their total, and now the Rams have a tall marching order.
That was pretty similar to what we saw earlier with Ryan Daniels as well at the very beginning. Same side, same place.
Yeah, just a quick little screen and had blockers to pave the way, too.
My goodness, Ryan Daniels, the junior wide receiver, making a statement in this game. Numerous touchdowns on the board. And boy, what can we say about the play of Jack Driscoll being the distributor to these deadly wide receivers. So now, a 2-point conversion. The Knights would like to make it a 14-point game. We now go back to that 5-dice formation. Wide splits on the offensive front. Driscoll takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself, fakes the defender out, rolls to his left, throws it into the end zone. It's good! A big 2-point conversion there, and that was to Ben Carlson.
Driscoll with the pump fake. Not once, but twice got his guy in the air. Dropped it over the top.
You know who that reminded me of? Anthony Richardson against the Utah Utes last year in the swamp. The pump fake and the spin away. Driscoll, he's got SEC aspirations.
Boy, if I didn't know any better, I'd say you were a Gators fan. You were talking about the Netflix special, and now you're talking about Richardson.
Hey, I'm a lowly Coug. We don't even have a conference anymore. Get off my back, all right?
What a sad thing that is, though, to watch the Conference of Champions just dissolve.
108 years of history just gone. Cal and Stanford on their way to the ACC officially. So now it's the Pac-2 or the Tupac, if you'd prefer.
The Tupac, I love that. That's great.
I stole it from a meme. I can't take the credit, if I'm being honest.
You know the White Pine will take them.
Seriously. Washington State and Oregon State coming to the White Pine League. You heard it here first. We may have to clear that with the presidents and whatnot. No, in all seriousness, they're probably off to the Mountain West, which geographically makes sense, and then they kind of fit those demographics as well. But, go ahead.
They better get ready for Boise State.
Boise State, that's right. San Diego State. They've got some solid football there.
Yeah.
But anyways, folks, back to the action here. 34-20, a huge score from the Knights. They could have just punched their ticket to a 2-0 start, but the Rams have something to say about that as they're ready to get things going again on this drive. 5:26 to go, and they pooch this one over into the second level. That's taken at about the 35, and another big hit from the Knights. It looks like they've practiced that kick before.
And you would, it's like the third time Jake Fabby's been the guy that's picked it up and then just under a blue avalanche of Logos players. Man, if I were Fabby, I would just down it. But Fabby's one of those He's one of those psychos that likes likes getting after it and likes mixing it up for sure.
I want to make something happen here, and and when he sees the clock at 5:24, can I take this to the house? That's probably always in the back of his mind. So 1st and 10, they're starting out as far as field position in a similar spot last time. Ball's at about the 35-yard line. It's going to be 3 wide receivers from left to right, and we've got a timeout here taken by the Knights as they just want to dot their I's and cross their T's before we get going.
Yeah, they were looking to the sideline. They were looking for Gunnar Holloway, and he was not out there, and they said, well, we can't have that. So they're going to burn one of their timeouts here to make sure they get the right personnel.
And fortunately for them, they do have the 14-point lead, and the clock is their ally at this point. Folks, just again a reminder, the North Idaho Game Night is presented by P1FCU. And make memories last a lifetime by owning the digital game file of this game for just $10. That's 1 gallon of gas these days. Just click the button in the top right to order. Oh, goodness.
I mean, the game has been pretty compelling, but the commentary, I mean, that's really what you want it for.
Yeah, I don't want to see my kid. I want to listen to these broadcasters. That's what they're saying at home.
Yeah, well, as you're watching this game, there's a big button that says order now. You can just click that, and all the details are right there.
And there you go. We make it easy at IdahoSports.com. So, the Rams, they have a tall order in front of them. 5:24 to go, 14-point deficit. Can they make the comeback? Find out with us. Ball at the 35-yard line. Schleeper in the gun. 3 wide receivers, 2 to his left, 1 to his right. Bad snap. Schleeper has to step up away from the pressure. He's going to keep it himself, but he's brought down. An excellent tackle there from number 16, Lucius Comas.
Yeah, and Gunnar Holloway finished off the play as well, so timeout well taken because Holloway wasn't out there originally. So
it's going to be 2nd and 9, and every second precious here, so the pace is quickened for the Rams. Schleeper is going to throw a little dump pass out here to Bass Myers to his right. Excellent containment from the Knights. They are pinning their ears back and flying to the ball.
Gunnar Holloway again.
It's as if he likes playing defense.
I mean, he is. He's kind of the anchor of that defense. He plays right in the middle at the Mike backer spot and flying all over the place.
It's going to be 3rd and 9 after the tackle there. So already the Rams running into stiff resistance. That play knocked out of bounds, so the clock will stop.
3rd and 9, Simeon. What are you dialing up here?
Oh, man, they've got to turn to the pass play. I mean, this late in the game, down 2 possessions. Yep, not much else you can do.
Do so in an I formation.
Okay, I'm wrong.
Oh, it's a pass play. There's Schilling, but he couldn't get the pass off. He keeps it himself and runs down the sideline. He does get the first down, and it stops the clock. So making something out of nothing there.
Yeah, Clearwater Valley tried that play last week against Notice, the double pass with Schilling back to Schleeper. He got the pass off last week, but it was tipped as it made its way across the field. And that time Schilling goes, you know what, I can pick up this first down on my own. That's the one thing I'm surprised we haven't seen more of tonight is Schilling with the ball in his hands because he found the end zone 4 times last week. We just haven't seen it much tonight.
Excellent job by the Logos defense. Perhaps that was part of their game plan, keeping an eye on him, texting a little bit back and forth with Coach Holloway today. In fact, while we got a pause in the action, I can pull that up. It was a great look at the inside of what Coach Holloway was thinking.
Timeout with 4:38 to go here.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 coming out of the timeout here. 4:38 to go, trailing by 2 scores. And while I have more time, did you get your Gridiron game picks in this week? Compete every week against other high school sports fans and the so-called experts like Brandon Bainey to my left here at IdahoSports.com for free. Win weekly prizes and the chance to be crowned the regular season picks champion. It's okay if you start now because weekly winners get up to $25. If you are the regular season grand champion, you will win $100,000 and no, I'm kidding. It's not $100,000, just $100, and a $250 donation will be given in your name to your favorite Idaho high school athletic program. So there you go. Get your picks in, IdahoSports.com.
$250 to either Logos or Clearwater Valley. A small school like that, it goes a long way.
That adds up. So again, 1st and 10. Schleeper in the gun. He's got 3 receivers in the set to work with. Schleeper takes the snap. Looking downfield, steps up. He's got to get away from the pressure, so he's rolling to his left. He's just going to tuck it at this point. Excellent pursuit from the Knights, and they've got a sack. The speed of the Knights is becoming pretty overwhelming at this point in the game.
Gunnar Holloway was the guy that made the play. And Schleeper a little slow to get up.
Yeah, he had a lot of Knights pursuing him on that one. He was trying to make something happen. And he looks fine, just wind knocked out of him there.
I'm wondering if the helmet got pushed up a little bit and he's got to head off for a play. Now he's okay, so generally that means one of 2 things, either like a bloody nose or something, or they're going to take a look and make sure he's okay to come back in.
And checking in just for the play, that's number 42, Lincoln Barger. He's also the kicker for the Rams.
I mean, hey, it's only about an 86-yard try from here. No, I'm just kidding.
Turn the sliders up on Madden. So it's going to be a 2nd and about 17 here. And the bad snap, Schilling just has to fall on it, and a hole just got a little bit deeper.
Yeah, and we've seen that a lot tonight with high snaps, snaps that have been awry. The difference is you've had the 6'4" Schleeper back there to go up and get it. Schilling is probably 5'10", 5'11", and just isn't able to have that reach that Schleeper does, and that time ends up being a significant loss of yardage.
So Schleeper's fine as he is checking back into the game. Barger heads back to the sideline. Schleeper also has the play. 3:43 and counting. And Logos right now is sitting pretty.
This is about 3rd and 36 here, Garrison. So
not a lot of plays in the playbook for 3rd and 36. Schleeper looking. Pump fakes. It's an out and go route, but not enough time. He's got to run for his life here. Still on his feet, steps up into the pocket, or what's left of it, and gets out of that awful situation and makes some positive yards back at least. But it's still going to be 4th and very long.
Oh, you're cracking me up over here. Steps up into the pocket, or what's left of it.
The pocket had sort of reformed on the far side. And my goodness, just the pursuit from the Knights has been really impressive.
It's like when you break a really valuable vase and you try to glue it back together, and it's never quite the same. It's a little lumpy, doesn't quite look right.
Oh, goodness. That was impressive. And even though the pocket did not stay clean there, you got to give credit to the Rams offensive line. They didn't give up, and they were chasing the play too.
Now it's 4th and about 30. Schleeper got about 6 yards on that scramble.
The first down marker is at the 45-yard line. That's the opposite 45. Schleeper, he's got to step up again. Fires it over the middle. It's incomplete. Pickering was the intended target, and that is a turnover on downs with 3:07 left.
That was the last gasp, I think, for Clearwater Valley. They're just not going to have enough time to make up the 2-score deficit. And man, credit to that Logos defense. We talked about it last week in the win over Lakeside, allowed 77 yards total defensively. Tonight, holding a good offense like Clearwater Valley to only 20 points. Very impressive.
Very impressive indeed. And a shout out to Clearwater as well. Just the ball bounced Logos' way a few more times, and Logos' defense really stepped up. Bad snap, and Driscoll just had to fall on it. The commentator curse almost happens there. I talk about the ball bouncing Logos' way, and they almost turn it over. And we've got a timeout here taken by the Rams as they have to hold on to as much time as possible. That's going to bring up 2nd and 13 there.
Yeah, just trying to do what they can here, preserve as much time on the clock as possible. But so Logos in their brief history as a football program has kind of been known as a team that scores a lot of points but gives up a lot of points, right? They got into a lot of shootouts last year, and they were on the wrong side of some of those shootouts. But you're really seeing now, if they still have that high-octane offense coupled with a defense that through 2 games has only allowed 20 points, this is the making of a White Pine League champion and a team that could go very deep into the postseason.
Absolutely. Some exciting stuff here developing in Moscow for the Knights, and Coach Holloway and his staff have done a masterful job of transforming the program from a bunch of cross-country runners in year 1 to now they're putting a hurting on teams. So first at about 12, it should be second actually, and the official is communicating that to the sideline.
I was trying to listen to the players on the sideline, and the fans were all chanting. Were they chanting CrossFit? Is that what it was?
I believe it was offense, but
offense.
I could be wrong. CrossFit.
CrossFit would be interesting.
We know our sports here. And Jack Driscoll keeps it himself and is pushed out onto the near sideline. And, you know, even though that was a positive gain, you also don't want to be stopping the clock. It looks like he was kept in bounds.
Yeah.
So
2:35 and rolling. Yeah, you were talking about Logos was a cross-country school, and now we've got all these big, strong football players, and then I heard CrossFit. That's what I thought it was.
That's right. And that's how we did it.
That's the secret.
So the clock continues to roll here as Logos steps up to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd and 5, and they're going to take their sweet time getting these plays off here as the clock is on their side. Driscoll, he's going to hand it off to the big old Jonathan Morrill, and Morrill gets a very positive push up front, and that's going to be another first down for the Knights. And I feel like at this point you can, with under 2 minutes to go, you can pretty safely say that the Knights have this in the bag.
Yeah, if they get one more first down, it's over. And even if they don't, I mean, you're looking at less than 20 seconds left on the clock for Clearwater Valley.
So for Clearwater Valley, their next game is going to be against Lapway. That's Friday the 15th at 7 p.m., and it's a home game. So a chance for them to get back on the right track, but Lapway, they are no slouch. And then for Logos, as they look ahead, if I can find the right schedule here, they're going to take on Camii. You know, the White Pine Division I champs from last year.
Think about this. Logos, in their first 2 conference games of the year, had to play the 2nd place team and the league champ. That's, I mean, but think about it. If they start 2-0 in White Pine play, already knocking off CV and Camii.
That's right.
They put themselves in the catbird seat.
So a big game that is going to be Friday the 8th, September 8th. So, excuse me, Clearwater Valley has a break. They have a bye week until their next game against Lapway, so that'll be 2 weeks from now. And then Logos takes on Camii. It is here at home, so Logos could be taking on a big challenge here as Driscoll once again takes the knee. Do you feel like we got to be back here next week?
We might have to reconsider our plans here. I don't know what we had on the schedule originally, but that is the game, I think, yeah.
So we'll be in talks with good old Kingsbury to see if we're allowed to come back here, but that game right there, Camii and Logos, that looks impressive. Oh, that's right. We were going to be in the Kibby Dome.
Oh, well, we'll figure it out. We'll get it straightened away.
Skaggs, you go there. I'll go here. So it's going to be 2nd and 8, but the clock is rolling here. 5 and counting. And ladies and gentlemen, the Logos Knights are off to a 2-0 start in the 23-24 campaign after an impressive win. They take down the Clearwater Valley Rams 34-20 on their home field. And again, a big matchup next week as Camii is coming to town. But we'll talk about that later. Again, our final score, Logos 34, Clearwater Valley 20. Don't go anywhere. Brandon, Simeon, and I have to discuss our IdahoSports.com player of the game. We'll be right back after these messages.
The memories of this game last a lifetime. By downloading the digital game file of this contest, you can have your own personal copy of this game forever. These make great gifts for the student athletes involved. Just click the Order Now button for more details.
Yeah, I know a little something about myths. Like the myth that speeding isn't dangerous. Oh, and that myth you can tailgate at a safe distance. Or that you could safely weave in and out of traffic. Don't be fooled by myths. You'll get yourself into a hairy situation. Stay focused on the road. Be a legend like me. Have you heard the one about Charlie over at Pay Lake?
Welcome to What If Idaho, the home of 1,000 paths for those that embrace possibility. There's no better place to be if you're looking for that next career, or just exploring. Life is a wide open door, no matter your age. Here at Next Steps Idaho, you can research careers and training options that work for you, and start a dashboard to keep your plans moving forward, so you can route your path from what if to what is at nextsteps.idaho.gov.
Our army of IdahoSports.com action photographers are covering games all over the state. And now we've revamped our galleries to make it even easier to find and order your favorite action shots. Just go to IdahoSports.com and click the Action Photos link in the menu.
Hello?
I was in an accident.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I had my seatbelt on.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Moscow, Idaho, as the Logos Knights take down the Clearwater Valley Rams 34-20 in impressive fashion. They're 2-0 to start the season. And before we go to call it a night, we've always got to talk about the IdahoSports.com player of the game. But before we talk about Logos, because they won the game, we should probably give an honorable mention to Clearwater Valley if you guys had any thoughts on some of their bright spots.
Yeah, talking with Simeon here, I think for Clearwater Valley, they were pretty equal in the distribution of who scored. I think Tiago Pickering, though, he had a touchdown run. He also had that big fumble recovery in the first half off that errant pitch. But if you had to single out a Clearwater Valley player, who would you go with?
Oh, man. I kind of agree with you. I think it was pretty evenly distributed, and he had a couple of those big plays for them. Unfortunately, it didn't always work out with a final score, but they still fought. So, yeah, I'll go with you.
And I think the play of the night was Jake Fabbie ripping that ball away on that second half kickoff.
I have not seen anything like that, where he just said thank you and ran the other way, almost scored, but nonetheless. So there's the Clearwater Valley side, a valiant effort from them, a tough game, a good response from their defense. What do we think about the player of the game from the Logos Knights? You have good options to choose from.
Yeah, I would say probably coming in third is Lucius Comas. He had a pair of touchdown receptions tonight. Our second choice would be Jack Driscoll. He had 5 passing touchdowns and an interception on defense. But really, the context of this game, it was a tightly contested game throughout. And so I think we've got to give it to the guy who scored the opening touchdown of the night on Logos' first drive of the game, and then also scored what ended up being the final nail in the coffin tonight to give Logos that 2-score lead at the very end as well. So we had 2 receiving touchdowns tonight, the very first and the very last. And, our IdahoSports.com player of the game, Ryan Daniels, pretty well-earned, Simeon.
Yep, number 12 out there on the field playing wide receiver and defensive back. And, yeah, as you mentioned it, opening play, got all the fans riled up and everything, and gets touchdown, not opening play, but opening drive for the Knights. And then, closes it up. Well-earned MVP.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here from my co-host, Brandon Bainey, from our cameraman, Simeon Rauch. Close
enough, Rauch, yeah, whatever.
Goodness gracious.
Rauch and roll.
Rauch and roll, that's
there we
right.
Go.
That's going to do it for us here in Moscow, Idaho, as again, the Logos Knights take the win 34-20. From all of us at IdahoSports.com, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.